choices that are made here. So, as I said at the beginning, we've got Forze on the attack. Now, don't forget, we are playing by the new rules, which Pro League so kindly came in and copied from CCS. I don't know if we can claim that quite or not, but we will have 5 attacking rounds first, then it will be Forze on the attack, so they'll play all 5 of their attacking rounds, and then we will switch over so that Xbox Master Race will definitely get their turn, but depending on that original score, they might not get too much of a turn. And surprisingly, in comes the 6th pick phase. We don't see a 6th pick from Xbox Master Race, but we do see Glaz taken out of the lineup and Zofia brought in. What do you think is the line of thinking there?
I have no idea what the line of thinking there is. I think I just said that Glaz is more valuable than Zofia every day on this map, but you know, there's obviously a reason for it. Maybe wanting a little bit more soft destruction from a distance. You know, obviously without a book, a sledge, or an ash, maybe. Scythe is going to offer a little bit of soft destruction there, which can always be handy. Maybe just feeling like they didn't need the Glaz, or saw the Jaeger, or saw the Maestro. Maybe they saw the Maestro and thought, you know what, Maestro's going to be able to see through the smokes. We might not be able to get a smoke plant off so much, so you know, we'll get rid of the Glaz and we'll bring some soft destruction.
Yeah, to be fair, if you're in your Glaz scope, those flicks onto a Maestro cam can be very difficult as well. So, you know, if you had a Maestro cam covering those B-site windows, you get Glaz up there, like you say, the smoke comes in, he gets into his scope and he's trying to pick somebody up. It's unlikely he's going to notice that Maestro cam opening, and even though it's only 5 damage a time, each little shot that you can land on him there just makes it more and more difficult. So, it could be a very good shout there as to the line of thinking from Forze, but I'm sure we will see very soon how that pans out. So, we've got quite a quick approach so far. We've already got WTG on the Dockerby upside down on that balcony window, just no doubt waiting until his teammates move into position. Madman just going to be knocking out, but he's looking to defend that piano area. Still important, but not quite as important as on a garage position. But you're going to be looking to have at least a couple of strong roamers here that are going to waste time down on that middle floor, just making the attacking team afraid of that flank and just having to burn some time going down to clear them out. So that's almost certainly what Madman on the Jaeger is doing there, and as you can see, he's just putting shots in, just hassling people. He just wants them to know that he's there, and he's going to try and he's wasted a minute already, but we have Scyther just moving upstairs there straight away towards site with the Zofia.
Yeah, they're going for a pretty heavy you know, admin room push. Nice to see the IQ in use here, but difficult. They've not really applying much pressure from both angles. I'm not sure if they're going to, you know, maybe try and make a rotate at some point, but Starboy there is going to bait out the first of the smoke grenades and just, you know, put a few warning shots down. But, you know, the Xbox Master Race are playing this the right way. They're not really challenging anything. They're not peeking anything, just holding their angles and running down the clock. And that's all you can ask for in this stage. You know, Forze have taken some good map control in terms of, you know, they've almost got half of upstairs, but Mac is going to lose one of his Maestros. That's going to be a little bit of a blow. They can be very valuable, especially later on in the round. But it does seem as though we're trying to get in the Echo drone there, and the smoke grenades have come in from Dockerby, but we've got some toxic bays in there as well. Shock is going to pick up 2 quick kills onto Mac and Astro, and in the kerfuffle, they managed to get the diffuser down. So it looks as though Jaeger has run out. Proyo is going to pick up a quick 2-piece, bringing the man count back down level, and HVK is going to be trading shots down the long desk corridor, and it does look as though he's just going to miss out on picking up the kill, but Madman is going to pick up Shock. So quickly, that's going to lead us into a 2 versus 3, although the diffuser is down. So it is still looking good for Forze at this stage, but they've got to be able to hold this plant. And it looks as though, yeah, there we go. HVK, oh, he's going to get the team kill, unfortunately, and Starboy is going to pick him up, leaving Proyo in a 2 versus 1. Proyo's got it all to do, doesn't quite manage it. Dockerby, a WTG, pick up the last kill, and that's going to be the first round in the bag for Forze. So they did a really good job there of getting the bomb down and actually defending it. But I think that I can't help but think that Xbox Master Race didn't play. They maybe should have dropped a hatch there and tried to come up behind him. It was a real, like, I don't know, it felt like both teams were at loggerheads the whole time. There was not much rotation going on.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. They sort of came together as, like, head-to-head, if you will, like you said. There wasn't neither team using multiple angles, so they almost met at a line in the sand across the map. But Interesting use of the Maestro from Mac there. I can't help but feel like that was a bit of a mistake. He sort of had the front cover open. He was shooting. I'm not sure exactly what at. And then pop, off it goes. He's lost one of his 2 very valuable Maestro cams, given that they can see through the smoke. As we saw, the Echo drone was sent in there to try and deny the plant in B. But 3 members of Forze had managed to get themselves entrenched in there. The smoke grenades were down. Echo couldn't see the plant going down, so the Yokar drone was useless. Down goes the plant. And then, as we've said countless times, playing the objective, they just waited for that retake to try and occur. And I think Master Race gave it a very, very good go, to be fair to them, but they just didn't quite have the teeth they needed. Like you say, there was a very unfortunate team kill. 2 of the players stacked up. I think they were probably just getting a bit short on time and a little bit desperate at that point. And then it was easy for Forze to mop up in the 2 versus 1. But we will see them go upstairs again, and we'll see if Xbox Master Race can do anything different this time.
It definitely could have gone either way that round, just purely because of the way that it was played. Like I said, it seemed to be played really linear, and there wasn't any sort of rotation or any pressure from any other direction. Interesting that they've chosen to go straight back down to garage. They're obviously not going to bang the head against upstairs. It's always a good thing to do. Xbox Master Race there showing that they're not afraid to keep switching things up until they find something that works. It might be a case that they win this round and they go back upstairs and they're going to win it. So you never know how it plays out, but good to see that they're making the decision to switch up so soon. But I tell you what I like from Forze is that they've chosen the same operators. It shows me that they're quite comfortable and that everyone knows their role. And I really like that in a team. If people know what job they've got to do and they're just going to focus on doing the job and helping the team and doing everything they can, then that's all you can ask for. So I can sense a little bit of focus here from Forze.
WTG then looking like he's going to be approaching that piano area. So important on a garage objective. It's one of the best ways to get those bandits cleared off garage door, which can be so pivotal. We know if that gets opened by the thermite. With Jackie, we've seen Jackie play thermite countless times, so he certainly knows what he's doing. But we've got Astro up there for Xbox Master Race, up in that console office, and no doubt waiting to drop down into piano just to offer some resistance in there if needed. But already Shock is in that bathroom unchallenged. Now that could be a little bit of a mistake on Xbox Master Race's part there. You've got Astro who's still just holding that angle from console, and I know he doesn't want to get carried away and dive straight in there. In comes the first Dockerby call. He's not going to want to dive straight in there, but he sort of left it too late and allowed the hatch to be open, and that can be a crucial hatch. So we've got Starboy now just getting into position. It just feels as if Forze aren't being hassled enough here to me. They're just being allowed to get into those positions and hold their angles. But Astro sees the first one, takes shots, and actually misses his own shots. Now WTG is going to move around knowing exactly where Astro is, takes a wrong shot onto one of those prismas that tells and where he is, but manages to get the kill anyway. Shot gets a kill onto Madman as well, so that will be the bandit off the board, which will surely allow the thermite of Jackie to now come in and start thinking about getting that door open. Meanwhile, Dockerby WTG can surely get those cams hacked as well, so they're going to have all that information. And we've got Legion Proyo just managing to move up, getting his 3rd kill of the game onto Starboy, and that brings us to 4 versus 3 in favour of Forze.
Nice little phase there. I think that Xbox Master Race could have hoped to come out of that a little bit more on top, but the man count is even, and that's pretty much all you can ask for at this stage. We've got, as I say, that Shook is going to get taken. Sorry, Proyo is going to get taken out by Shook, but we've got a smoke and an echo to deny this plant. So Mack is going to pick up a kill, bringing the man count that little bit closer, but get down in the process. Shook picking up a quick 2-piece at the end with the bearing 9. And as I was saying, it looked all right for Xbox Master Race. Forze came and ran through them once again.
Great players. As I think the key there was clearing out those the bandit and the alibi. As soon as they went, things really start falling apart. I know that Proyo managed to pick up a kill onto the IQ with the Legion, but it just wasn't enough, as you say. They had it from all sides at that point. Forze executed really well there.
I really liked the roam. I liked Alibi playing upstairs. I think there was an Echo drone floating around up there. Now Echo's got 2 drones. It makes a bit of sense to kind of designate one to help your roamers a little bit. But it just felt like Alibi didn't have much support up there. Got taken out by Dockerby, which I felt like was a 50-50 gunfight. Definitely could have gone either way. But Forze are so focused in what they're doing and they're spending a lot of time in the drone, and it seems as though Xbox Master Race are kind of a little bit scared to rotate, and they kind of get bogged down and stuck in the weeds a little bit. I mean, that's what it looks like. I'm you know, obviously we only get to see a couple of points of view, but that's kind of what I'm feeling at the minute. I'd like to see him play a little bit more. Yeah, the word isn't aggressively. I think it's just I'd like to see him lurking a little bit more and maybe using a bit more of the map to move around.
I think unpredictable might be, you know, a bit more unpredictably. Just like you say, getting into those little nooks and crannies, waiting. I mean, that's sort of what Alibi did playing up there on that top floor. But like you say, just was a bit stuck in the weeds, didn't really move, you know, didn't take that drop into Piano. And I know they got the challenge onto Dockerby, but it was a Dockerby that clearly knew where Alibi was by that point. So with some droning, you know, they're well aware, and then, like you say, they're just holding that position, almost waiting to die, essentially. You know, when that Prisma got shot and Dockerby got located, WTG's got a ping on him for the next 5 seconds or so there. But Alibi still just tried to hold that angle and still lost the gunfight. So for me, Astro there needs to get aggressive, needs to take that opportunity, could just come out pre-firing. In fact, the wall that he was hiding behind is a soft wall. So if the ping is there, get hammering through that wall and could surely have picked up the kill onto WTG, and then things are very, very different for that round.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, at least try and get a few points of damage down, but looks as though we're going to see a very similar push again from Forze this time, looking to, you know, focus quite heavily on the east side of the building, get in upstairs and start clearing the way through. It did work for them last time, but I feel like the first round could have definitely gone either way. So it'd be interesting to see what happens this time in terms of Xbox Master Race, and are they going to try and rotate a little bit differently. There's no reason why someone couldn't come down through main lobby, although we've got WTG watching that flank, and that just goes to show how well Forze are playing this. They're really dedicating guys to specific jobs, and you know, Dockerby to watch that flank is certainly one of the better operators up now onto the balcony. Did a lot of work from the balcony last time. Let's see what we can do again. Going to get the first call. This is why Dockerby is one of the best operators in the game at the minute, in my opinion. You know, you've got the smoke grenades, you've got that call. That call is just so handy. You know, you can really pinpoint people as to where they are. Starboy, they're going to get shocked by his own guy, burning some ADSs out. And it looks as though they've got good control again, but they're stacking up, and this is exactly what we saw happen last time. Now, Shock has put a Hibana charge down there, but I think it's been bandited off. I know that Maestro's had a camera set up down there, I'm pretty sure for the purpose of shooting them off, but Jackie there is going to pick up the first kill, taking Bandit off the board. So if there's no bandits on there now, that wall will be free to get open. But this is what I want to see. Madman there on spiral stairs. It looks as though he's going to be pushing, although no, he's going to be he's playing it safe. He's playing for this late roam, and the late roam is something that we definitely need to see. Mac holding a pretty long angle there down. Oh, doesn't quite manage to get some shots down, but it looks super close. Smoke grenades come in, and I'm expecting to see a plant sometime soon. I'm not sure who's got. Jackie has got the diffuser. Scyther there is going to pick up the kill onto Madman, so the roam has been denied, although Proyo is going to trade it back for one of his own and get Starboy. Now we've got Echo is in a perfect position to deny the plant. We've got a Maestro on Thermite as well, so he's got absolutely no chance. Proyo is going to pick up another one onto Jackie, and the clock is quickly running down, although we're going to suffer a team kill, but Mac picks up the 2k, making up for it. 2 versus 1 now in favour of Xbox Master Race. Are they going to be able to take the first round? Yes. HVK is going to pick up that final kill onto Shock, and they really did something there and chained it together. I really like that play.
Yeah, I like the amount of disruption that they managed to chain together there with the Echo and the Maestro, as you say. Forze moving in to try and get the plant with Thermite, which I would imagine was played by Jackie. It usually is, and just not able to do a single thing there. Like you say, when you're getting stunned by an Echo, you're getting hit by a Maestro, you have absolutely no chance of getting that plant down. And at the same time, they just managed to move in, get a couple of kills quite quickly, chain together. I think it was it Mac who managed to move in and just get a couple of kills quickly?
Yeah, Mac he got TK, but he picked the 2k straight after.
Got the 2k straight after the TK. I mean, that's 2 rounds that they've had TKs in now, so they just need to think about their movement a little bit. You know, their positioning, make sure that they're not stacking up on each other. But a much better round from Xbox Master Race, and it was essential because it can be easy for things to start running away from you. Forze had 2 very good rounds and gone up 2-0. But this time we will see the buck pick from WTG, where we're going downstairs into garage, so that makes perfect sense. And I would suggest that we are going to see an early push towards Piano here.
Yeah, they're definitely going to focus on getting this door open, the garage door that is, and that really, you know, it's your first priority whenever you're attacking this location. Really, really nice to see Xbox Master Race there picking up the round. And I mean, I can't help but think Forze are going to play it a little bit differently next time. I think they'll probably make a bit of a push from the west side. They've gone east side twice now, so they don't want to get too predictable in what they're doing. But I guess with the Blackbeard gone, that's what makes it so interesting, because that west, that west window becomes a lot easier to challenge in console desk if you've not got a great big shield in the way. So certainly an interesting one. I'm going to see a mute this time as well as a bandit. Mute there, possibly coming out to try and counter any Dockerby calls. Dockerby has been really effective for Forze so far, although WTG has opted to switch using the 6-pick. Obviously, he's switched into Buck, so he's traded the Dockerby's sort of utility, if you will, for the ability to open up the piano floor a little bit easier. But it has forced Astro to take the mute, and as we all know, mute's not, you know, he's not got the best weapon in the game, but you know, at this level, headshots are key, and it doesn't always make too much of a difference. You know, obviously, one shot to the head is one shot to the head, no matter what gun you're using.
Early attempt at a C4 toss there from Madman on, I think it might have actually been Mac on the mute that just made that attempt at an early C4 toss out onto the exterior of the stairs there. But you're going to have to get lucky at that point of the round. I would have thought. You know, nobody's pushing that doorway too hard just then. So, but it was worth it doing. You know, it lets them know that you're there. We can see we've actually got 5 defenders downstairs now. I'm quite surprised by that. I would like to see certainly some roamers to hassle up here. You can see there WTG having an absolute field day on that Buck. He's just opening up at leisure in piano, and the bandits are definitely going to be off the garage by now, and Bandit himself is not going to be able to trick safely given that Buck is right up there above him. So I'm sure we're going to see Jackie moving in to open that door within the next sort of 10 or 15 seconds so that the pressure can start being applied from outside as well. But we see Madman just moving up here as the bandit onto, I think he's up to the top floor possibly. So it looks like he is going to be trying to get on a roam. Yes, he's coming down the spiral stairs. It looks like he is on his own. He doesn't have support from any of his teammates. And the first kill of the round comes in from Shock. That'll be a headshot onto Mac, taking the smoke off the board. So that's a good utility gun. But Madman making the most of that rotate that I mentioned. Gets the kill onto Starboy. Shot getting a second onto Havoc. So that will see Echo off the board. And it was IQ that the Forze side lost. So we are now 4-3, still in the advantage of Forze, but Madman is still proving himself a problem, and we all know how important the roam game is on Consulate, and Madman is starting to show this. He gets the ping up above there, but he can't manage to get the kill. But again, it's just all about making your opponents think, stopping them feeling comfortable. Meanwhile, Forze start to use the hatch and income the lifelines, so that will tell them there's somebody down there in that corridor, and WTG moves in with the Buck quickly, but can't get the kill. He starts opening things up into the A site. He sees somebody by the door, but again, they've all got very lucky so far. Out goes the frag. Astro moves out and gets the kill onto WTG, whose frag will fail to get anybody. So that leaves us 3 versus 3. Madman on a late roam. Proyo traded out as he gets the kill on Jackie by Shock. So that's a 3k for Shock so far. Astro gets the kill onto Cider, and Shock would have to have got the ace there, having got the diffuser down. But Astro moves in with a swift double kill at the end. Fantastic plays to bring us back to 2-all. Comprehensive win there, I think, from Xbox Master Race. Very, very good.
Yeah, absolutely. I really enjoyed seeing the roam, and it's kind of everything that was on our wish list for Xbox Master Race to start doing. It's like they've warmed up a little bit and they're getting into the swing of things now. Madman there on a fantastic roam, managing to pick up a couple of kills and waste a lot of time. I have no idea why Forze didn't open the garage door. They went to all the trouble of getting the bandits off and then just never executed and never opened it. It was really, really strange. They ended up dropping hatches, and that left WTG in a pretty average position, if you will, at the back of those white bands. So yeah, just a weird one, really. But you know, really good. Not to take anything away from Xbox Master Race. Really good game from them, and you can see there the scoreboard. Shock is certainly doing his best. 9-3. So maybe that speaks to some of the troubles that Forze may be having. Shock's had a couple of good rounds, and you know, perhaps that's you know, if he's not having a good round, the other team members are only picking up a kill or so. It's not always enough to win it. Obviously, kills aren't always everything, but they certainly do count for something.
Yeah, and we've seen, as I said at the beginning of the match, we've seen Cyther and Starboy picking up a lot of those frags in recent weeks. So if they're not putting as many up on the board as they have been doing previously, it is potentially going to lose, lead to you losing maps. So very good last couple of rounds there from Xbox Master Race to come back from 2-0 down, bring it back to 2-all. That's not easy mentally. You start thinking straight away, is this thing going to get away with? Especially with the fashion in which Forze won those first 2 rounds. It really was a tour de force, if you will. Excuse the bad pun. But moving back in now, we've got a very similar lineup to the one that we've seen previously. The only addition we've got here is Astro on the dock this time, and I can only imagine that's after the line of sight that we saw Maestro holding with the ACOG last time. It just speaks that maybe they've thought about bringing a second ACOG this time around.
Yeah, it certainly makes a lot of sense. There's some really long lines of sight that you can exploit upstairs. And if Forze are going to continue to start pushing on that east side, which it looks like they're going to, why not take advantage of that? If you're pretty sure that that's what they're going to do, then, make good use of it and have the tools to deal with it. I imagine Astro will play a pretty long angle down the corridor, maybe through one of the rotation holes, through connector, looking into B site. All sorts of possibilities there, and it looks as though we're going to see pretty similar things from Forze this round, although Dockerby there just opting to jump out of the rappel as we say that. But got Scyther on the Ash this time. Now, is he trying to pick up a couple of frags? Is that, sometimes people play Ash if they just want a decent weapon, decent speed, and they're just going to be able to go in and not really concentrate on much other than just getting, trying to get some frags down. Is that what we're going to see at this point from Forze? Because they definitely need to change something up.
Mac again just opening up them cameras to try and shoot out the drones. I've not seen him have too much success with that so far, but definitely seen him lose cams to it, so I'm not sure how much value there is there. I know that there is a lot of value in the information drones provide. It just doesn't seem like the Maestro cams are doing the job on the drones there, so maybe better off saved for something else like Plant Denial, as we saw it very successfully used in conjunction with Echo. But I think you're right, we're going to have Astro and Mac just trying to hold long lines of sight down those corridors as best they can, just to prevent that admin push. But it looks like Forze are playing patiently. They've got 4 on the admin side. They are certainly coming from there. We have a big run out from Madman, but he won't manage to get WTG. He does put some damage onto the Dockerby, but it won't be enough to clear them off the balcony. So that very strong position still being held, but Mac is going to try and deal with that, and does. What a call there from Mac, getting the kill onto WTG, but Shock will trade that straight back out. That's the Maestro gone. Astro gets the kill onto Starboy. Meanwhile, the diffuser goes down, so that leaves us 4 versus 3, but Jackie manages to even up the numbers. Havoc's getting the kill onto Jackie. Havoc's getting a second onto Shock. So that's a 2k, and now Scyther has it all to do. He gets the first onto Astro, 1 versus 2. But Madman will be the one to come in and pick him up on the Jaeger. It's just the defuse, and they've got all the time in the world. How about that for a turnaround from Xbox Master Race?
Xbox Master Race have woken up here, and we've definitely got a game on our hands. Fantastic plays, like we predicted, the long angles on the ACOG coming out. I'm absolutely shocked that Madman got away with that run out onto WTG, then rotated all the way back into the bottom of Yellow Stairs, and then WTG later then got picked up off the balcony. But really brave, bold plays, and I think that it's possibly just took them a round or two to get into it. These guys, obviously they might have been, they could have had something on this afternoon, and they maybe not been playing all day, maybe not too warm, but they've definitely warmed up now, and we've certainly got a game in our hands. So we're moving in now to the attacking phase for Xbox Master Race. So we've had our first 5 rounds. They've come out of that one on top after losing the first 2 rounds, which is fantastic, and they've really turned that around. Let's see what they can now do on the attack. Not seeing anything too different apart from a Glaz and a Vigil, 2 operators there that we haven't seen just yet. But let's see what Madman and Scyther can do with these.
Quick look across the board there, and Forze certainly recognising the power of roaming on console. I think you've got Jaeger, Vigil and Bandit, all potential roamers once their job is done early in the round, and those particularly the ADSs and the Bandits have been placed. They are free to roam as they will. There's nothing of any real value to Bandit Trick in this one. and it is pretty much place and forget, and then off you go. So we will see an echo as well from Jackie and the smoke of WTG. But yeah, just harking back to that previous round, I think WTG, Matt getting the kill with that Maestro ACOG out onto the balcony, I think that was a bit of a pivotal point for this round, because once that diffuser goes down, WTG then, if alive, cuts off the majority of rotations for Xbox Master Race from that balcony. So it then becomes much easier to defend the diffuser. Having been taken out, it allows them to come in, retake, and get quite an easy stop on the diffuser there.
Yeah, if you can stop people from going outside to watch the plant, then you're definitely onto a winner there. We've got a very similar push from Xbox Master Race as to what they experienced. Looks like we're stacking up pretty heavy on admin's side. Interesting to see that no one's really going to the west side. You know, I know that they've not got the Blackbird and it is, you know, prone to runouts, but you can certainly watch that run out and sometimes even bait someone out onto it. You know, if you've got someone waiting there watching and, you know, we've got a defender that smashes through and thinks that they're going to get away with it, then it sometimes can be a nice way of picking up a kill. But Shock there is going to put some good shots down in onto Madman as the Glaz. Madman's going to be down at about half health after that encounter. And you'd like to think that Madman comes out on top of that purely because of the scope of Glaz, but obviously didn't manage to get any shots back in return. So, as I said, we've got a very similar push. We've got Proyo. He's going to just be holding an angle up at the vending machines. And it seems as though Xbox Master Race are kind of waiting for something to happen at this stage. Scythe is downstairs in a nice position to come up spiral stairs for a bit of a cut-off, or maybe even a bit of a turn into a flank, I guess, depending on how far Xbox Master Race pushed up. But I've just got the feeling that time is of the essence, moving into the latter half of the round right now. And you know, we've got a bit of map control, but there doesn't appear to be much of a plan going down, although I do think we're going to see something happen pretty soon. Proyo is going to suffer some shots there. Didn't quite catch who it was from, but it seems as though ADS are going to start getting burned. Shock is going to come out with a C4 onto Astro that misses, and we've got smoke grenades coming out down into copy room to just keep Astro at bay. I can hear a Dockerby calling the distance, and Shock's going to pick up a kill onto HVK, taking Dockerby out off the balcony, which is a real power position to lose at this stage.
Yep, as we saw in the last round, that then made it very difficult. So they are now dealing with an admin push. You've got somebody else, Madman Glaz, there just moving to get onto that balcony, just saying exactly how powerful that is. And you can see the diffuser is actually down out there. So I'm sure that Shock has made that call out, given that WTG puts the smoke out there just to limit Glaz's movement. Matt getting the kill onto Shock, so that will be the bandit down. Only 30 seconds, and Madman's going to need to collect that diffuser, which he does. But we've got Madman and Proyo both under 25 health now. Mac on half health. There is only Astro on full health. Meanwhile, Forze have 4 fit and healthy operators ready to go. So surely the power lies with them at the minute. Shots come through from WTG on the smoke. IQ will be downed. Will get picked up though to go back onto the 50 health. Now that leaves us with 10 seconds. They have to make a move. Starboy of Forze getting the counter Pro Yosada with his own onto Astro. So that brings us to 2 versus 4. WTG onto Madman 1 versus 4. Matt gets the first. WTG perfectly trading it out. That's all you can ask for at that stage. That's all you need. And Forze with an excellent round there.
Forze just wasted a lot of time, and it seemed that it was very reminiscent of the first round in the way that the teams just sort of came up against each other and stopped. You know, they sort of get inside, do a bit of droning, get into the position, and they kind of hold an angle for 35-40 seconds, and a couple of things happen, but nothing really, and it's a flurry in the last sort of 15-20 seconds. So definitely an interesting one, but it looks as though we're going to see a lobby press room hold now, and Shock is going to be bringing out the castle. So castle barricade, always pretty handy, but I'd be interested to see what happens with the 6 pick here, because obviously a castle barricade is good, but a Glaz can be pretty effective on it, just purely through, you know, 11 shots in it, and then you've obviously got the advantage of having Glaz. There's not really... Oh, I suppose we've got the sledge for a bit of soft destruction on the castle, but I wouldn't have been surprised there to see Xbox Master Race switch things up, especially seeing as they got a Finker on the board, which does seem like a bit of an off-pick. Finker is not an operator that you see all the time. Certainly not in CCS. We've not seen it played much at all, so HVK there must have a bit of a plan.
Interested to see how that Finker is used. Personally, I mean, obviously they don't necessarily know that it's a lobby hold at this point, but a Glaz is so powerful on a lobby hold. You know, if you can get them outside of those double doors, as long as you can prevent the run-outs, they really can hold some tight angles and make it very difficult to stop a plant.
The thing is, what were they expecting? Were they expecting them to go downstairs into garage? Because if they were, they've not got a thermite.
That's a very good point. Very good point.
It seems weird.
Yep, it does seem like they are set up for it on the defence at least. So, but yeah, very strange. Like you say, no thermite, so it wouldn't necessarily be expecting a garage hold, but no glass. But I suppose the Dockerby with the DMR, they maybe, you know, they do have a long range option there. She doesn't need to get inside the building at any point really. If calls can be made from outside, so it could be that Jackie's going to perform that role Madman's going to perform that role on the Dockerby instead.
Maestro seeing a near 100% pick rate as well, and interesting that Scythe has gone for him. He seems to be the three speed player, if you will, taking Ash Vigil and all this sort of stuff, and now he's going to be one of the heavy boys taking Maestro. So definitely a bit of an off pick there, and just showing the sort of flexibility and the ability to choose any operator. Let's see if he manages to do something with it as well. It'd be cool to see. But Maestro and Echo, they seem to be the backbone of this meta at the moment in terms of plant denial.
Yeah, we've only seen that used successfully once when Jackie as Thermite got in there with the Forze attack and managed to get a plant, but it was denied by a combination of both Echo and the Maestro. But that being said, Maestro is one of those operators where you can't necessarily see the impact of his gadget. Yes, sometimes he's going to get the plant denial, he's going to put people off, but the real primary function of that gadget is information. Madman getting the kill onto Jackie there, so that will take the Echo off the board now. That could be huge in terms of plant denial. But back to what I was saying about the Maestro, it's one of those gadgets you don't always necessarily see the value when we're watching a match like this. Astro getting the kill onto Shock, but Scythe will get one traded straight back onto Astro, so that'll bring us to 3 versus 4. Out goes the gas grenade though. Proyo getting the kill onto Scythe. WTG almost certainly distracting him while the kill comes in, and that leaves us a 4-2, but Proyo is down, will be picked up by the Thinker Blast there. So how important will that prove? Proyo will slowly dip back down to 1 health, but is at least back on his feet and able to fight for his team. So that leaves us 4 versus 2 in favour of Xbox Master Race.
And now's the time for the smoke grenades from Smoke. Mac there picking up a kill onto WTG, removing that option, and now it's all down to Starboy. He is playing upstairs and is getting more pinned down by the second as Madman there picks up the final kill. So yeah, I think he used to good effect there. I suppose it was a nice little pickup. Obviously, that's one of the good advantages of Thinker, is you can pick up downed enemies without having to go near them. But always a risky business when there's a smoke still on the board, because those smoke grenades, those toxic base smoke canisters will do some serious damage to you if you've got the adrenal boost inside of you. But a good round, and it moves us ever closer. So 3-4 round count at the moment to Xbox Master Race.
Yeah, looking very strong on the attack there, but is it fair to say it was a strong attack against a weak side?
Yeah, potentially, but they didn't really seem to have the operators for it, and they still sort of pulled it off. I mean, they've chosen the same operators again now, and Forze have chosen the same place to defend, which I guess is a little bit weird. I don't think it was that close for Forze that it's worth going back there. I'd like to see them go downstairs to garage, and I'm not too sure why they're not doing.
If Forze lose this here, I am honestly going to have to say that their objective choices have probably cost them this map.
Yeah, I think that's fair to say.
I'm confused. Like you say, they were nowhere near that really. They tried to hold it from upstairs as well, and they didn't really get close at all. And they've come straight back here. Personally, I'd be preferring garage at this point. I preferred garage in the first place, but
yeah, I mean, they've come straight back and they've dropped the castle and took the Ella. So I don't know. I think if you said to me that you had a strat on a bomb site and you were going to bring castle, I'd say okay, let's see it, because obviously castle can really benefit some sort of strats. But having just lost this bomb site and then saying, you know what, we're going to go straight back there, but I'm not going to take the castle this time, I'm going to take the Ella. you know, a couple of decent placed castles could have, you know, changed the outcome of that round potentially. But I don't think that 3 Grismots are going to, you know, are going to weigh that much in favour for him. But, you know, ever an open mind, and let's see what Forze are able to do here. But as you say, if Xbox Master Race win this, they've certainly got a lot of momentum moving into match point.
I'm sure that they're going to be looking to get straight in and clear that top floor. It looks like Madman is going to work on those console office windows, possibly getting his drone straight in there so he sees Ella moving across in front of him. He knows there's at least one playing top floor. I would have said from the experience of the past round they will be expecting at least 2, if not 3, and 3 is what they will get. But Madman moves in and gets the kill straight away, taking the Jaeger of Starboy off the board. So that will leave 2 roamers upstairs now, and the pressure starts coming in very quickly from Xbox Master Race, and Shock will feel it on the Ella. He does have the option of dropping the hatch. He's going to hold an angle onto copy there, and now he's going to move over and just try to pressure these white stairs that head down towards Visa. Drone will see him though, I'm sure, even though he takes it out, so that's going to give a very clear call out that we've got 1 at least in karaoke, and it might even be worth Dockerby just getting some random shots there. But the shots come in from Shock, but he's not going to manage to tag anything onto the attackers yet, and he will be down. Proyo will get the kill onto Shock. I believe that was from downstairs, the IQ moving in underneath. We saw that used to good effect in the last round as well, so that's now 5 versus 3 in favour of Xbox Master Race, and Force just struggling once again with this objective that they've already tried to hold once. It looks like Jackie will be the final defender upstairs as the Echo, and he's going to try and hold that line, but he still has what looks like a sledge and an IQ to contend with. He's got his ACOG, and he's trying to keep that one line of sight. He doesn't see Proyo moving round using the Desperate. Excellent cover there, getting the kill onto Jackie, and this could well end up a flawless round if Force don't do something about it quickly. But WTG will react and get a kill onto Proyo, but Mac gets the kill straight back. Either waiting for Madman to come in through the entrance. A little bit of sound whoring going on there. I think he just picked up the noise of him outside, so he waited for him to jump in. Whilst in the animation he gets the kill. That said, he's got about 30 health left, and the diffuser goes down. He really does have it all to do now, especially on a lobby objective where I think it was probably Mac that just moved away. No, it was actually Astro on the sledge, I think. He's just going to move away and just hold an angle from outside there, but will get down. Either gets the kill onto Havoc, so that brings him 1 versus 2. He's doing everything right. He's challenging 1 at a time, but I'm sure they've got 1 upstairs watching through the hatch. Going to make it very difficult for the Maestro of Scyther now. We've got 1. They're getting pinged constantly. They can't do anything about the camera because they have to defend themselves from this Maestro, but it was only a matter of time until Mac jumped up from behind that desk. Maestro having to be far too aware of the hatch above him, and that will give the round to Xbox Master Race 5-3 now. I think, is it 5-3, 5-2?
5-3 it is indeed. Xbox Master Race there making a real good example of Forze on that objective. And if Forze go there again, I'd say that they were throwing, but they are going to go down into garage and cafeteria finally. I feel like they just spread themselves a little bit too thin on that. You know, with the way that they were playing upstairs, the guys, they wasted a little bit of time. They challenged a couple of things, but they were never really in a good position to start off with to challenge anything. And I can't help but think they maybe stayed upstairs just a little bit too long, and didn't get much value out of those final seconds up there. It would have possibly been better off coming downstairs, regrouping a little bit and trying to hold the objective. But that's the that's the difficulty when you go for a lobby hold, because you've obviously got to deal with both upstairs and downstairs and the outside. It does make things a little bit tricky, but you know, GG's to Xbox Master Race. Great round from them. They certainly took a lot of advantage of it, and seeing Finker play again. You know, are we going to see a little bit more of Finker? There was a bit of a rumor that she was going to get a frag grenade, so I think if that happens, there's definitely a chance we'd see a bit more of Finker in competitive Siege.
Yep, certainly put out there, I think, on the test phase, on the test server, sorry, to have a look at how that works out. Quite a lot of drama about that one. I think Finker getting the frags that are being taken from IQ by the looks of it. But that said, Jackie and I think it was Starboy on 2 kills apiece here across 8 rounds, and we do have a drop though from Xbox Master Race, but it is after the first 15 seconds of the prep phase, so we will have to play out this round before we get any rehost. So it will be 5 versus 4 in favour of Forze. Now, could this be what it is needed for Forze to just stop the bleeding and get a round back, bring it to 5-4?
That's really tough for Xbox Master Race. It's little things like that can really start to screw you over at this stage. And it could be the little boost that Forze need to say, look, guys, we're 5 versus 4 off the rip here. Let's really play our angles. Let's try and get the first kill. And let's play, let's play to win this one. Because, Forze definitely aren't out of this just yet. It is match point, but, going into match point, a man down, it isn't somewhere you want to be. All of a sudden, if Forze win this one, it takes it to 4-5, and it starts to become anybody's then. So it'd be interesting to see how Forze play this and if they play it any differently as they have been doing.
Yeah, that's it. Like you say, maybe just hold those angles a little bit more. Just take your time. You've no rush. The last thing that you want here is to allow Xbox Master Race to come in and get a quick first kill and just even up that man count straight away within the first minute. That is the absolute last thing you want. He says as Proyo starts moving in upstairs, and you can see the Jaeger ahead of him there just playing at the top of White Stairs. Now Starboy has been struggling for kills, only 2 frags so far in 8 rounds now. I know it's not everybody's job on the team to be getting the frags, but 2 kills for Starboy and 2 kills for Jacket are not going to be helping Forze here at all. And it would appear that Proyo does know that Starboy is there on the stairs. Is he going to see him? Is he not? I'm not sure. He starts moving towards Yellow Stairs now. That shot is surely going to tell Starboy that somebody is there, but Proyo just holding an angle onto that door. They're going to come together. He puts the shots through the soft wall, but Starboy, excellent clear for Forze, so that's going to take it heavily in their favour now. 5 versus 3. Starboy getting the kill onto the IQ of Proyo.
As Forze now, you've got to be saying, right, guys, let's play this really smart. Get back to the objective. Hold your angles. Let's force Xbox Master Race to plant. You can hear there, Docker Pickle is going to be coming in, and Madman is going to be moving his way up the stairs to try and pinpoint Starboy, and he does. He manages to get it down, it seems, and finish him off. So that's going to be the Roma off the board, and that's going to leave Xbox Master Race a lot of the map to play with now, as Madman is going to be pushing his way downstairs with that Thinker boost to minimize his recall there on the SMG-12. And they've got the upstairs control they need now. I think that Forze were only playing 1 Roma, which isn't a bad thing. Did his job, got a kill, wasted over half the round, if you will. And now it's all about execution for Xbox Master Race. C4 toss comes out for Shook, and Mac had nowhere to go. You could see him thinking, but he didn't have anywhere. Scythe there is going to pick up a kill, and quickly this is going to move into a 4 versus 1. HVK, the last one alive, doesn't manage to pick up that kill onto Shock, although the diffuser did go down. It is going to be a round on the board for Forze. Now, they obviously took good advantage of that man down, and obviously getting the first kill really helps because it moved them into a 5 versus 3. So you can't fault them for the way that they played that. They played that very well indeed. And we are going to move to a rehost right about now just to pick up Astro. We don't want to leave him out. I'm sure he's desperate to get himself back in here.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll want to get straight back into this game, I'm certain. Very close so far. We've seen 5 versus 4 now in favour of Xbox Master Race against Forze here in CCS EU Season 3. And some really good players so far, I think, from both teams. It's not fair to say that either team have necessarily dominated the good play stakes. I do think that Xbox Master Race having a lead of 5-4 at this point is probably fair. We've seen a lack of kills from the Forze side, but we have seen some good play from Forze. So it does lead me to say that I think it is the lack of kills from some of the players that is hurting Forze today. I think if those players were firing, the strategies seem to be good. When they work, they certainly work very well. And I think that a few more frags across the rest of the team will go a long way. Maybe that round, even though it was against 4, will just give them a little bit of confidence and will just help them pick things up, turn things around, stop the bleeding, and get another round and take it to overtime here.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I'd like to see the scoreboard again. I've not, the last time I can remember it, I think that Shook was on 11 or so. That's a lot of kills. And I guess if you spread those around over the team pretty equally, the scoreboard would start to look a little bit better. So I'm not sure that there's that many more kills out there that Forze can get. I may be wrong in that, but it's not like we've come down to 1 versus 1s every time. There's been a lot of times where the diffuser's gone down for both sides. It's actually been diffused with a couple of guys left on the defending team. So I'm not sure what it is that Forze need to do at the minute, other than just, maybe this is the perfect thing. Maybe the momentum break, or maybe this break and, the break of Xbox Master Race's momentum is going to do them a bit of a favour. Having had them just won a round, Xbox Master Race are going to be in a bit of a tiz now because they've lost someone. We've got to go through the hassle of a rehost. They're still moving in onto match point, But sometimes that, it really seemed like Xbox Master Race had got themselves in quite a good flow after that first 2-round hiccup, if you will, where they lost them pretty badly, if you will. I think it's pretty fair to say that they were very convincing wins for Forze those first 2 rounds. So, yeah, in terms of Xbox Master Race, they want to stay composed during this. They want to just get the squad back together. Probably a couple of them will probably already be in a terrorist stunt, just making sure that they keep hot and, don't just sit around for 5 minutes or so waiting for the rehost to come through. So that's going to be the key for them. But if I was Forze, I'd be saying, right, we've just won that round. We're 1 round away from overtime. And this is seriously, this first map seriously could be ours. Let's get it in the book. It'd be really, really interesting to see where they decide to go to defend. I think they're probably going to go upstairs to top floor.
I've got a thought of what Forze can possibly do.
Hit me.
Stop picking lobby.
That'd go a long way.
Just don't pick lobby. Just don't pick lobby. Based on the 2 performances we've seen there, just don't pick lobby. Yeah. And I think that at least starts upping the odds, not necessarily putting them in their favour, but it certainly increases the chances, let's be honest. They were 2 not poor attempts. I think it's overall, I think it's a very difficult site to hold. And I think once you let the upstairs get overrun, as soon as we saw it come down to a 1 versus 2, but it was practically impossible for the Maestro in that situation to do that because the hatches were open. It was actually prepped to be defended from upstairs. So, all you have to do as an attacker then is use those facilities to defend it. So, yeah, very, very difficult site to hold and, definitely one that they need to avoid. But like you say, other than that, there's no single thing that you can necessarily pick out other than start winning those gunfights.
Start winning the gunfights, start getting the trades. I'm seeing a lot of people both teams are playing a lot of angles. And when someone's playing an angle very linearly on a linear path, it's very difficult to pick up a trade in that scenario. So I don't know how they're going to do it, but I think I'd like to see him picking up a few more trades. I'll tell you what, if Pulse was in, he would have drastically changed the whole course of this map just because of how these 2 teams have been playing. Yeah,
I'd agree with that. I think, like you said, Xbox Master Race, I remember a couple of times seeing people working in pairs as well, and that comes down to those trades that you've been talking about. I think Forze have been caught on their own quite a lot there. You saw Starboy at the top of Yellow Stairs getting a good kill onto Pro-Yo. Now, I know Forze went on to win that round, but just as an example, you've got Starboy playing out on his own there. They've got a man advantage. It's the perfect opportunity to play 2 roamers together in a pair, but no, he goes in, he gets the kill onto Pro-Yo, and then they just move in as a pair, did Xbox Master Race. Pinched him and got the kill and took him off the board, and that dealt with the roamers and left them pretty much the entire map. Forze, yes, managed to hold, but they did have the man advantage from the beginning, and I just think they need to start buddying up a little bit more. It's even more important if you've got players that are struggling in gunfights. So you've got a few guys there that are maybe struggling to get the frags today, and just stick them in a pair, and then at least you're picking up those trades. So you might lose one of them, but you're getting one of your own back. And I think that could be particularly important for Forze as well, just to start working, sort of hunting in packs a little bit more.
Yeah, definitely. You make a really good point there. Starboy did do a fantastic job on Jaeger last round to pick up a kill on Pro-Yo, but like you say, Xbox Master Race, the way that they responded to it was just, we're going to pinch him together, and it becomes a really easy kill then. And a lot of the times when you're able to do when you're able to manipulate a 2-on-1 situation, the 2 don't tend to lose a lot of health purely because the 1 can sometimes be wondering which way to go or is waiting to peek out on somebody and then get shot in the back. So it can be a much more advantageous situation in terms of actual how you're going to come out of the fight, regardless of whether you're going to die or not, what sort of health utility you're going to actually come out of that with. So yeah, I definitely agree. Forze certainly want to be adopting a bit of a buddy system and just try and ensure a couple of these trades. But it can be difficult because we sit here and say that, but they did win that round, and they won it because of the guys that were playing down on site. So it's having someone that's able to, go up, buddy up, stay alive upstairs, or doing whatever they're going to do, and a bit of a lurk or a roam, and then able to actually come downstairs and finish the job off down there as well.
Absolutely. So I think we've got all of the players back into the lobby now, and we're going to be heading back in. Let's see how Ubisoft's system does for us. I absolutely love it lately, especially when you can get all the score overlays and everything updated. Medics has been working furiously. Number one observer EU been working furiously to get all that input for us. So everything should be nice. And we see there Xbox Master Race leading 5-4, so perfect. And the operator bands in place as well. Just a reminder for you, we've got Blackbeard, Lion, Pulse and Valkyrie off the board for this game. The Valkyrie pick, I think, definitely having some impact. We've seen a lot of plays and only one run out. We saw that absolutely crazy run out. I think it was Madman on Jaeger. I think he practically ran out to the police barricade to take a few shots at WTG and managed to make it all the way back in through Yellow Stairs. But we haven't seen too many, and I think, to be honest, that's probably the impact that you see of not having Valkyrie on this map.
Why? It's a little bit of a daft question because I kind of know the answer. But why do you think we're seeing an IQ played so much from both sides when we haven't got a Pulse or a Valkyrie on the board? Is it literally just to find the Echoes and the Maestros?
Could be for the Echoes. Honestly, I think there's a big bit of it that's just utility and gun. I think a lot of people like the gun. She brings frags at the minute, at least, and so it's just a good option to get in there, clear bar. You know, who are you going to pick instead? I suppose is the way of looking at it. They're not expecting them down in garage, obviously, because they've not brought the thermite. And I mean, you know, I hope they're going to prove me wrong here, but it looks like we're going for another lobby hold. And I'm sure it's probably going to be Caster's Curse, and they'll do it really well this time.
I hope they do. I really
Except I'm not sure.
I'd really like to see how they do it because it's just a weird one. Shock's reverted back to you know, lobby hold version 1 of taking the castle instead of version 2 where he took the Ella. We're now on version 3, so let's see what they're able to do with this. Maybe they've ironed out some of the bugs and they know what they're going to do with it. But yeah, absolutely crazy. When you got top floor available, I'm not too sure why they've done this, but I'm excited to see what they can show us on this.
Yeah, they're certainly going to have to show us something different to what they've done previously on their 2 rounds here. Maybe, I don't know, maybe they just think Xbox Master Race are too powerful against the top floor, so it's maybe the lesser of 2 evils as they see it. But, you know, given how quickly they've been run over, they basically holding this top floor is essential. If Xbox Master Race are able to move in and clear out top floor as they have done previously in the last 2 rounds, we've got 3 playing up there, or we've got 4 playing up there this time. If Xbox Master Race can move in and take them out, even if you can just take out the meeting room area and allow a plant in through double door, that can be enough. And we see one of 4's Jackie is down already, so the Echo is already down. It is going to be picked up by Starboy, but they're already losing HP off that team figure, and Xbox Master Race are going to make this very difficult for them, I'm sure.
See, Forze are playing this like they'd play upstairs in how much utility and, you know, how many operators are actually playing upstairs to try and hold, which is a fantastic way of doing it. But, you know, for XMR, I don't know why they don't just try and, you know, go down underneath and come up behind, if you will, come up Yellow Stairs and put a little bit of pressure on that way. Obviously, they're going to want to take out the guys that are playing upstairs because they're going to be able to rotate back down. But it is kind of the first time where they've held for this long without losing anybody. I know they lost Jackie. He got down, but then he obviously got reset again. WTG with a fantastic kill out there. The SMG-11 versus Thatcher's LA-85 coming out on top there. That's a brilliant kill to pick up for WTG. Paid a little bit of a price in terms of hit points, but not all too much. Certainly worth it. Moving into the last minute of the round now, and it is looking good for Forze. Maybe that break has just helped them gain a little bit of composure as Starboy picks up Proyo. Proyo's been doing some great work for XMR. So Madman is going to jump in there. Shook picking up the kill onto Astro, and quickly this is looking quite good for Forze.
And what do I know? Telling Forze not to go back to the lobby, and they come out and prove me wrong, and that's exactly what we want to see as casters. You know, we never want to get on anybody's backs. It was just that they'd really struggled with it for the last 2, but they've certainly shown some adaptability here, and they've got themselves back in here now. It's a 4 versus 2. Madman is going to be taken down by Starboy, so that will leave us 1 versus 4. Mac on the Hibana has it all to do, and he's only really got Jackie with any meaningful damage. We did see there we go, the final final kill as Jackie moves down, and Forze will take that round, which will take us to overtime, I believe. So we will we'll need to have a short rehost whilst Medics gets us sorted into the overtime sort of setup. Oh no, it's done it for us. It's even done it for us. I wasn't sure Ubisoft were going to do that, but it's moved us into overtime, so even easier. We got a very interesting example there. You were questioning the use of IQ repeatedly, and I think we got a very, very good example of why she's being taken, and that was her very clearly taking out the Maestro cam with that frag.
It is a fantastic way of dealing with Maestros for sure.
Not only can she locate the Maestros, but she can also destroy them as well. So I think that's possibly, given the near 100% pick rate of Maestro so far, that's possibly going to be why we've seen that.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, there's obviously Sledge can do that as well. And depending on location and where you're anticipating, Sledge could probably be of more use because you're able to open up the floor and stuff. But if you get that frag grenade throw down to a tick where it's literally exploding as it hits the Maestro, you're definitely onto a winner there. And that is something that we've touched on in the past before, is that if you're going to play an operator, you need to be an absolute master of all of the all of what that operator has got available to you. So, for IQ, you need to be pretty good with a pistol. You need to be pretty good at judging through floors and walls and map knowledge of knowing what's soft and what you're able to shoot through, what you're not in terms of destroying gadgets. But then if you're going to look at a utility, she's got the frag grenades, so you're going to want to become a master frag grenade thrower as well. And that's something that we've touched on before, and it's something that I really like to see, is that when a player kind of takes the operator and then really starts to refine everything, not just the gun and the ability, but the gadgets as well, and the speed and all that sort of stuff. It just goes to show just how much time you can put into an operator on this game.
Yeah, I think we've all at this point probably sunk thousands of collective hours into our given mains, like you say, just to try and perfect each little element of it, whether it be map knowledge or, a particular frag throw or whatever it might be. Buck, Astro just moving in and taking out that hatch there in Visa, so giving easy access to blue corridor early on in the round to allow his team to move in and clear servers and admin area if necessary, but he's going to move in to the admin offices himself and start looking to clear out that top floor, and I don't think he's actually going to find any roamers up there. No, he's not. Thanks for the overview, Medics. Perfect timing.
Best observer EU. It does seem a little bit slower this round. We're a minute into it now, and XMR, they've made a good bit of progress into the objective, but the lack of a thermite, I feel, is certainly hurting them. I don't feel like we've seen Garage Door open at all this whole series yet, which is something that is quite shocking. Madman, they're going to be pushing through into Archives, and he's just going to miss out getting a couple of shots down onto Starboy as Starboy rotates back down into the objective.
Yeah, like you say, a lot more cautious now that we've got into overtime. I think Forze have just managed to put the brakes on by getting that rehost and then moving into overtime as well. They've fought back from 5-3 down. They lost a lot of rounds on the bounce. I think they must have been about 5-1 at a point, because they were 2-0 up and then it was 5-3. So they must have been 5-1 down in terms of rounds at one point. So having lost 5 out of 6 rounds is a hefty loss to take. But they've managed to just put the brakes on. They've brought it back. You can see we've got all 5, so they're playing a very strong turtle defense here. They've basically given up the map to Xbox Master Race, who now have 1 minute remaining. But if they have the knowledge that there's no thermite up against them, it means they can completely ignore practically that Garage Door. I'd like to see Hibana even maybe moving down there and just getting some holes open so they can't ignore it like they are doing now. But they are just holding their angles, and the shots start coming in from blue corridor. But Shock as Bandit, I'm sure, will just keep himself low and try to exchange some damage if he can do, but he will keep going and causing a nuisance of himself. Out comes the Finker, but there is the smoke. Starboy getting the first kill onto Proyo, 5 versus 4 in favour of Forze. However, Jackie will get the kill onto Mac even when he had his back to him initially. A really unusual third-person view of a kill there, and WTG getting into kill on Havocs. WTG with a second onto Madman. Astro brings 2 back of his own before Jackie finally picks him up and takes the first overtime round for Forze. Now, don't forget we're playing the new rules, so we will be looking for 2 clear rounds, and that will go on indefinitely until we find it. So Forze will now need to take a round on the attack.
Forze there, pulling it out all the stops to pick up that round, and certainly wanting to carry on this momentum that they've achieved over the last couple of rounds. This rehost does really seem to have hit Xbox Master Race hard, and it's almost like they're playing like they did in the first 2 rounds, you know, playing a little bit scared, not really making much progress. I'm going to go out on quite a wild statement here and say that I think everyone's pretty set in their operators. I've no idea why we've not seen a Ying. I've no idea why Thermite wasn't used to open up that garage door. I can only think that they were anticipating them to go somewhere else. I'd like to see some different operators being brought to the table at this stage. I think, Xbox Master Race had the tools they needed inside different operators to achieve a win on that location. Now, granted, they may not have been anticipating that location, but they're playing the same operators and they're kind of getting the same results. So something needs to change, in my opinion. But this new system of 1 attack round, 1 defensive round, the instant swapping on overtime now can make things really interesting.
Yeah, I think Forze have actually turned around their objective picking game there. I think what they've done was very, very clever. They've gone for Garage, knowing that Xbox Master Race are almost certainly going to expect a top floor attack for that first overtime round. They've therefore defended without a Thermite on the attacking team. They've picked up that first round brilliantly, so it gives them the opportunity to win on attack here. But not only does it give them the opportunity to win on attack here, think further ahead, it means that if they don't win here, their next defensive round is on the stronger top floor. So potentially they've almost guaranteed themselves, and guarantee is a strong word, but they've put themselves in a very good position to get themselves 2 opportunities to win this if they don't manage it here on attack. So I think this is very clever from Forze.
I enjoy how you said guaranteed and then realised.
Immediately backtracked.
It's actually not guaranteed one little bit. It's interesting because we've seen both teams do very well on both sides of the table on this map, on this objective. We've seen both teams win it on attack and we've seen both teams win it on defense. So this really could be anyone's, and it does look as though Forze are going to be pushing this in the typical way that we've seen this evening, approaching from the east, clearing through copy room, break room, clearing through admin, and ultimately trying to get some angles opened up and try and get some map control gained. We're getting a bit of we're in the drone phase now, if you will. Starboy is going to be out on the balcony, just figuring out what's where, giving some call outs of electronic devices to go and scout out with the drone, maybe some Maestros or some ADS devices, or even a Legion or 2 perhaps. Mac is going to be playing a pretty tight corner on, a pretty open corner, but he's not very exposed to any angle at the top of yellow stairs there, just able to jump into his Maestros and try and get a couple of drones, but it doesn't seem to have been all too effective for him. Like you said earlier, I'd like to see him saving those for the plants. XMario aren't really pushing anything, and they're kind of doing the right thing in a sense, because they're just they're just holding angles and waiting for the clock to run down, moving into the second half of this round already.
Forze just starting to build their attack now, taking the pot shot at Maestro, but obviously no use unless that door is open. But that would suggest they know that Mac is playing out there on yellow stairs, so maybe going to be difficult for him to move back in. He just switches to the other side of that doorway, and we have a bit of an assault coming down on here now. Out comes the first smoke grenade, and that's going to allow Glass to get a look through now. That must have been very close to a headshot, just as Astro takes out a very unfortunately timed. Oh, and he's just missing his shots there. Madman and Matt getting kills back to bring the man count back in favour of Xbox Master Race after that unfortunate TK from Astro. Scyther finally gets his man as he takes Astro down through the smoke with the Glass. So are they going to start thinking about a quick plant here with 40 seconds still remaining? They can think about it all they like, but Echo's Yokai will certainly deny that. Maestro just playing the shots out there. Madman on a great flank up the white stairs, gets the kill onto Scyther in meeting room, takes the diffuser down, will get a second onto WTG. This is Madman against the world. Is he gonna come in and get the 3k to finish things off? Echo just watches IQ move out of meeting room there, will give the shout out. Madman gets the final kill in a trade, and that will win the round for Xbox Master Race, but Forze will be allowed to defend the top floor now.
Madman and Echo won that round, hands down. The call-outs that Madman will have been getting there from Echo and the pings and the disruption that the Echo drone was providing, or the Yokai drone was providing, are certainly what enabled Madman there to be able to be as accurate as he was. And he was a guided missile at that stage. But it just goes to show that he was able there to go, I think he went down yellow stairs, through the bottom of the map, up spiral stairs, sorry, not up spiral stairs, up service stairs, I believe it's called, the sort of white stairs that comes up to the top of B. He was able to make that full rotation purely because there was no one from Forze watching that. It really does seem like Forze are just playing that as one level when they're attacking it. They're not dedicating anyone to a flank watch. They're not dedicating a drone down to it or anything, and that ultimately just allowed Madman to run havoc. A 6 pick there. We're going to see a blitz from Proyo. I'm glad we've seen one after we hyped him up so much in the pre-game when we were talking about him being banned. Let's see what Proyo can do now. They're on a bit of a roll. They need to pick up, well, they need to pick up a round now and then pick up another round. So, you know, maybe the blitz is going to help them do that.
They're certainly going to need to change something up. I think this was one of Forze's better locations on defence. We saw them struggle to get 1 out of 3 on the lobby, and then they've also won a good couple of rounds down in Garage, but having already won down there, they don't have the option to go down there again. So a logical choice here from Forze. Opening up and setting up as we would expect. But yeah, it's a very good point that you made there, X, about the Echo. You know, if you're going to play an operator like that, that's you know, a Maestro and Echo that's spending a large amount of the time in drones, potentially Valkyrie, you've got to, sorry, in cams rather than drones, you've got to use the other operators as your weapons, if you will. And you don't get any points for it. Nobody's getting any points for those call-outs, but it wins and loses rounds. There's no question. You know, you get hold of an operator like you did there on the Bandit, and you're giving very precise call-outs, telling them where to pre-fire. You know, that gun is practically as good as yours, and that was a great example of that.
I like that. That gun's practically as good as yours. It really is in that situation though, because you're the one that and you get to a point where you can give that pinpoint. It's almost like a coordinate that you're giving in terms of a call out, and that really can make all the difference. We're going to see the typical top floor push that we've seen pretty much all evening. Proyo is going to be looking to head it up as blitz, although Astro is just too keen and he can't help but you know, go first. Although I'd like to see Proyo just get in front of him and just be that bullet shield. We've got the same angles being held from connector down at the bottom of desk. We've got Cider there playing pretty tight to the right of a door. And that's going to be a difficult angle to challenge immediately on the way in, because obviously you've got guys looking through the window, through the door on the far side as well. A couple of points of damage maybe they're going to get put onto the blitz from the Maestro, but nothing really to write home about. As Shock just rotates back out, Maestro's going to put a couple of shots down into balcony, but Proyo's causing him a little bit of discomfort on this blitz, and that's what I want to see as a blitz, because this is when someone's going to make a mistake. Someone's going to expose themselves, over peak, trying to get a shot on the blitz, and that's when somebody else is going to be able to take advantage of that and capitalise.
Second thinker coming out then and just replacing some of that lost health, but Proyo has taken over 25 damage now, so he's probably just going to be a bit more careful. But Madman gets that first kill onto Cider, so that will take the Maestro off the board and they'll lose at least some of the functionality of those cams. Jackie getting the kill onto Havocs and Proyo getting one of his own back onto Shock, so that will take the Bandit off, and we will see the man count evened up as Jackie gets a headshot onto Astro. Proyo on the blitz will be taken down by Jackie. Meanwhile, Matt gets the kill onto WT. This really is just toe-to-toe, 1 kill for 1 kill for 1, and Matt gets the kill onto Jackie, so that leaves us 2 versus 1 in favour of Xbox, but Starboy gets the kill onto Mac. That's 1 versus 1. Madman moves out and gets the kill onto Starboy, and how about that for back and forth, taking Xbox Master Race into another lead and another match point here.
What a round from Xbox Master Race, real back and forth toward the end, and just some fantastic trades coming out. And it just so happened that Xbox Master Race were left with 1 extra guy at the end after all that trading. Really great round and fun to watch. Proyo there struggling to make much of an impact with the blitz, and I think this is something that we discussed in the pre-game, is that it's all well and good blitz being available and being in there, but there's got to be the right circumstance, and the stars have got to align a little bit. I would go out on a whim and say that top floor of Consulate probably isn't somewhere that Blitz is most effective, purely because of how many angles there are to hold and to consider. But he did good work with it anyway, and managed to waste a little bit of time and cause a little bit of disruption, and all aiding towards them winning that round. Moving now into overtime match point for Xbox Master Race, and we're going to see a 6th pick into a Mirror, but Mirror is no, Mirror isn't banned. What am I saying? Mirror, well, we've not seen her all night. Why have we not seen her yet if she's not banned? What am I saying?
Crazy. No, it's fair that you might presume that she was, given that we've not seen her. As you say, she's such a common operator to see. So we'll see if that brings anything different to this round. It's an interesting point that you met there about BlitzX. You say that Consulate top floor is not the sort of place you would expect to see Blitz be used effectively, and I would agree. But again, as you said, it all comes down to circumstances. Where top floor is an objective, Blitz not massively effective up there. Now, if you think back to, I think it was at Invitationals, Julio took Blitz up there for Black Dragons and absolutely dominated when it was on a garage hold. He got up there and he just cleared roamers out for fun. He just sprinted through there. He was getting 2 kills a time, 3 kills, and just taking all the roamers out and allowing the rest of his team to focus. So like you say, it's just about picking Blitz at the right time or using him in the right way, and I don't think that was it.
Yeah, for sure. I think Blitz's strength now is in a roam play. In terms of actually aiding a plan or trying to take on a fight head-to-head, where you've got multiple angles aiming at you, it's a little bit difficult, purely because of the size of his shield and all that sort of stuff, like you say. But yeah, as a roam player, fantastic. And if you were confident that the Xbox Master Race were going to roam a little bit harder on this, you'd maybe bring a Blitz and see a little bit of success coming downstairs through archives, etc. But it does look as though Xbox Master Race are pretty much setting up for the garage to be opened, although that doesn't seem to be what Forze have got in mind. We've not seen the garage door opened all evening, and that is something a little bit crazy, although Jackie is out there, and I do believe it'll get open this time. Jackie's out there watching the bottom of yellow stairs just for a run out, or anyone trying to get a little bit cheeky, and WTG is opening up the floor, which is going to make it pretty difficult for Mute to replace any jammers, although Mute Chicken isn't really much of a thing.
Yep, not overly effective, as soon as the thermite is activated, it's too late in the day, whereas Bandit can obviously still pop one on there and burn the charge if he is quick enough. But, as you say, we will see that garage door open. Great placement gets them a very, very useful hole in that garage door, and time to start thinking Jackie does have the diffuser, and possibly get Dockerby down there in that direction, get some smokes coming in, and just help to cover that plant from Jackie. But we will see if that's Forze's plan or not. WTG getting an early kill onto Astro. That will take the Mute off the board, but the Mute's job is largely done at this stage, so that will bring us to a man in favour of Forze. But the Echo Drone, oh, now that is careless, taking the Echo Drone across the front of the garage breach there and losing it. So Echo does still have 2 Yorkais, but it is yet to be seen where the other one is. If it's still remaining, it's gone. So that
IQ shot it through the floor.
Both of the Echo drones taken out, and yet another reason, I think, in answer to the question, why is IQ still being seen so much? But Mac will crawl forward, deny the defuse, and get the double kill in front of Garage Door. Fantastic plays. Pro, you're getting the kill onto WTG. How's about this for a turnaround after losing that man early on? Mac just taking the game into his own hands and saying, not on my watch.
Mac there's done a fantastic job against all odds. Forze played that perfectly. It was just unfortunate that Examara brought the mirror to counter it, but then Hibana was opening the mirrors and everything was just sort of falling into place. Proyo there going to pick up one, and Mac going to finish it off, picking up a 3k there in that last round to pick up map 1 for Xbox Master Race. What a fantastic, fantastic match.
Great plays at the end there, like you say. Forze came out, took the garage on the first overtime, and just, look like they'd got some real momentum after that rehost. But Xbox Master Race, however they did it, they managed to just press that reset button. They managed to change how they were doing things, and they came back and they took 2 very good rounds there against difficult circumstances. We saw the Blitz brought as much as we sort of had a little bit of criticism for bringing him and using him so directly on top floor rather than maybe a role and play function. It is still not an easy operator to deal with, and we saw the Maestro in the meeting room actually dealing very well with what was essentially a pinch between the blitz and the player out on the balcony. Managed to fend both off and did extremely well. So I'm very, very impressed with Xbox Master Race there. So that will see them 1-0, and we will be coming into the second map, which was Forze's pick, incidentally, and it's on Oregon. But as I said at the map ban stage at the beginning of this, I don't think you can ever really claim Oregon as any team's pick anymore, to be honest with you. Every team knows it inside and out. It's pretty much, along with Border, the most played competitive map that we've got on Siege, and it's, I think, possibly going to be won and lost in the operator bans here, or at least there's going to be a huge contributing factor. So far, we've seen some great plays from Shock. Shock came out and got a lot of kills there for Forze in that last game, and I mean, we saw a lot of kills across the board for Xbox Master Race, really. I was very impressed with some of the plays from Astro. Some of the angles that were being held made it very, very difficult for the pushers for Forze. And I'm going to be looking to see that again. I think we're going to see a bit of an angles game again this time, even though Oregon, another generally Rome-heavy map. But I'm just not getting much of a Rome feel from these two teams tonight.
No, I'm not getting much of a Rome feel at all. Oregon can be a tricky map to roam on. I think it's more described as lurking, purely because of the way that you make the rotations. You know, it's not so fluid. It's a fantastic map, don't get me wrong, but it's not so fluid for rotations. You can kind of rotate up laundry and rear stage stairs, and then through armory stairs, but then you've got to go all the way around the other side of the map to kind of rotate through the other bit. So moving into the match now, and we can see that we're going to see the first ban coming out for Xbox Master Race, and this is going to be an attacker ban.
Right, attacker bans. We've seen a lot of Blackbeard bans on Oregon so far, and I've commented a couple of times that yes, Blackbeard is useful on the kids' windows, particularly double window, yes, but not many other places, to be honest. So I'm surprised that we see so many Blackbeard bans, but there we go. That's the predicted blitz ban.
Interesting, we're seeing a blitz ban, especially from Forze. They've not actually picked blitz themselves all game. All game on Consulate, but as we've said, Consulate maybe not the map for it in certain circumstances. He's certainly quite effective on Oregon, though. Seeing the Lion ban come out again from Xbox, from Forze, sorry. So, again, bit of a tricky one. Lion, seen him banned, seen him not banned. I don't think we'd see him played if he was in, but there is that all-important mirror ban that we've been talking about.
Absolutely guaranteed practically on Oregon now. I think we've seen mirror banned on every single time we've played this, or maybe all bar one or two. And then this second ban, I would expect possibly one of the roaming operators like Vigil or Pulse, possibly. Pulse has been another very popular ban on Oregon. Just that plant denial from Kitchen being an option. And Xbox Master Race having a real think about this here.
The thing is, they're defending first, so they don't want to screw themselves over too much. It's exciting. It's tense. Valkyrie's probably a good, and I mean, she doesn't really take anything away from them in terms of their first defense. Always nice to have a couple of outside Valkyrie cameras, but
yeah, there's a lot of runouts possible on. A lot of runouts possible on Oregon, so the Valkyrie cams can be very important, and Valkyrie not an uncommon ban, certainly for what we've seen so far. But we will see Forze coming out on the attack, I believe, first again. Xbox Master Race started on the defence last time, so we will see Forze take their 5 rounds on attack before switching over onto that defensive side. And a bit of a surprise here. Even in the age of the mirror ban on Oregon, we're actually going to see a laundry defense first of all. What do you think about that, X? I mean, you get a big win there, and that's a bit of a mental game they're playing maybe with that second round up on kids' dorms. Yeah,
it can certainly change things if you manage to get onto a flying start and you pick up your laundry win, which is widely regarded as the more difficult bomb site without a mirror. You can really be onto a winner there. And I can only think that Laundry is falling back into favour ever so slightly with the Evil-Eyes, with Maestro's ability. Maestro's ability, you're going to be able to effectively deny a plant. You're going to be able to effectively, you know, do a number of things down there in terms of getting information, causing a little bit of a nuisance. You know, the information alone is going to be worthwhile, and that's what the mirror window provides you, really. It provides you a good amount of information. Interesting to see Mac opening all that up. Sometimes you see that reinforced, but Mac's going to want to open that large line of sight there into Classroom. Not sure if that's to get a better angle on something from downstairs, maybe after the hatch has been opened, possibly thinking, you know, for further into the round.
Yep, definitely interested to see what use they make of that. You can see some of the castle barricades being used there just to limit the movement throughout the map, particularly around that kitchen and dining area. So it's not going to be so easy for Forze to just move in and clear the roamers out from that side. They also will no doubt be looking to try and take control of the meeting hall area. As we can see, Xbox Master Race have one player. It will be Astro on the Alibi playing upstairs in the kids' dorms area as their top floor roamer, just trying to make this difficult for Forze, but will be drawn out. Early shots coming in and being exchanged there. Starboy taking some damage, Proyo taking some in return. That's the Legion and Zofia basically doing practically the same damage to each other early on in the round, and that will be part of the battle for Meeting Hall.
The battle for Meeting Hall is always a fierce one fought, especially on Laundry, and Starboy there is going to be picking up another kill onto Madman. So that's going to lead Forze in with a pretty good advantage there, getting the first kill off the rip. Castle's job largely done at this stage, but Dockerby calls coming out. XMR now opting to rotate back down into the objective, and this is where you really want that mirror window. You could see there where Proyo had ran into. You know, you've got to reinforce that because you want your smoke player to be playing in there, but you're if you ain't got the mirror, you've not really got all the information. But I think that's where the Maestro cams are going to come in. I think that you know, it's certainly going to help to do the job, but it does look as though Alibi is going to get pressured pretty heavily soon. We've got Dockerby framing up for it, and Dockerby does manage to get the kill before Sledge even manages to hammer the attic wall. Sorry, so that's going to put us into a 5 versus 3 advantage for Forze as another Dockerby call comes raining down. Shot there is going to be taking over some meeting room control and going to open up the hatch with a minute left to go. This is about the right kind of timings, I'd say. Forze are in a fantastic position. Smoke grenades are going to be coming out already, which is a little bit early maybe, but you never know, it can sort of delay. WTG there picking up a kill onto HVK. So quickly this has moved into a 5 versus 2. Proyo is probably about 1 hit at this stage, and Max there sitting on full health, but I'm not sure how many smoke grenades he's got left. I imagine he might have 1 at a push. No, he's not got any remaining, and there is 35 or so seconds left on the clock. Proyo there picking up a kill regardless of the hit points, taking out Starboy but getting traded straight back out by Jackie. So it is now a 3 versus 1. Max got it all to do. He is stunned in the objective. Jackie's down, so effective 3 versus 2. Manages to pick up a kill. It's all getting a little bit too much. It is effectively a 2 versus 1 as he gets up another kill. Mac is going absolutely off at this stage. If he manages to pick up the last kill, he will win the round, but Scyther drops down the hatch and takes Mac out. That was a lot closer than it needed to be. Forze had a fantastic position moving into that. Mac really doing his best there to try and pull it back, and I think he almost had it. I'm not sure if the attackers had the diffuser in hand there, or if they could have even placed it down. But a toxic grenade there at that point would have certainly done the business in taking out a couple of guys for him. But Forze there winning that round.
Mac absolutely lethal at the end there. I think just that final shot we saw of him dying with bodies surrounding him just went to say exactly how much he'd achieved. He'd brought that from a 4 versus 1 to a 1v1 for all intents and purposes, with one of the attackers downed and 2 dead around him. So great players from Mac. Just unfortunate not to be able to do more, but that defense is always difficult, and they are going to go there again. This is the choice that I'm not too sure about. Give it a go on your first round for sure, no problem. You get the win down there, it's a big boost. If not, for me, move on to another site, get yourself onto kids' dorms, just go and get yourself a win, even it up to 1-1 before you're attempting to take on the Laundry again, rather than when you've just lost it quite comprehensively, go in there again. I mean, they were 5 versus 2 and then 1 versus 4. That's not being close. You know, Astro's alibi struggled upstairs. I mean, that SMG-12 on Dockerby is absolutely lethal, let's be fair. But yeah, Alibi never really stood a chance in that engagement, and I'm just not really sure what they're going to do differently here. I don't think this is a tweak that's needed. I think they were very lucky to be 1 versus 1 with that spree from Mac at the end there.
Yeah, you're exactly right with that. Mac made that round as close as it was. Jackie there is just sneaking on the drone, managing to get a little bit of information. It looks as though we're going to see a run out early doors from Madman. No, he's just going to go and get some drones and re-barricade back up. Jackie was well aware of that and waiting for it just due to that drone placement. And you can see there how that run out would have quickly come to nothing had he, had Madman gone through with that. Yeah, you're exactly right. I think that the way that it was played, Xbox Master Race, they would have been really lucky to have won that round, and I don't know what they're going to do differently this time. They need to try and get trades, stay alive, you know, convert some of these kills and win the gunfights. Like you say, Astro really struggled upstairs, and to see him go straight up there again and play exactly the same spot is really weird. That's a really long way from the actual bomb site, if you think about it, in the way that Oregon's laid out as a map. This is what I was talking about earlier in terms of the rotations on the map. If you want to get from kid's bedroom all the way down into laundry, you've got to pretty much go through the whole map to get there, and you know that doesn't quite cut it most of the time. You need to make that quick rotation, and that's why Meeting Hall and Attic are so popular, because you're able to just drop hatches and get straight back down onto site.
Yeah, and with the site rotation, you know, I've only been able to play sites so long as you haven't just won them on the previous round. You've got to rotate off it once you've won. You've got to think about your site selection for the entire five attack phase as well, or 5 defend phase rather, sorry. So they've got to be careful here, because on Oregon, I think it's fair to say that the defensive phase is probably the more difficult phase. WTG kill coming out with a quick early kill, headshot onto Proyo there, taking the Legion off the board. Big loss, as that's a lot of utility that now won't get played as the round goes on. But as I was saying, the defending phase, I think, is more difficult on Oregon. We're now looking, without a mirror, at one really viable site, which is the kids' dorms. All the other sites are very, very difficult to hold. So you can get, at best, potentially 2 to 3 defences on kids' dorms. So for me, I think you've got to take them. You've got to give yourself that advantage of taking the kids' dorms as many times as you can at the minute, being that mirrors off the board. Whereas by taking the 2 laundry first of all, if they go kids' dorms on the 3rd round next and win, they can't go there on the 4th, so the most they can get now is 2 rounds up there, and I think that's possibly a little bit of a misstep from Xbox Master Race in their choice of sites here, whilst Scyther moves in and gets the kill, bringing to 5 versus 3, and we are seeing once again that they're going to struggle on laundry.
Astro there, I feel like Astro should have had that kill. I think Scyther got a little bit lucky, but you know, I wouldn't like to say. Madman they're going to take out WTG, Starboy going to take out Mac. HVK has got very little health as the mute there, and Madman is down on half. He's going to pick up a double C4 kill though, bringing the man count back down to 2 all. So it is definitely still all to play for Xbox Master Race, although Jackie is going to manage to get him through the boxes, making it a 2 versus 1. At this stage, Madman needs to stay alive and just try and force the plan. It doesn't look like Diffuser's in hand. He's going to pick up the first kill and he's going to win the round. Staying alive, playing the objective. That's going to be a really, really good round for Xbox Master Race. It didn't look too good from at one point. I think the double C4 kill certainly saved him there, but it's a round on the board nonetheless. And now they can go up to Kids Dorm, and they can start chaining these together. Let's get a little bit of momentum going.
Havoc's definitely winning the round for his team there, coming in with that great double C4 toss. Those are the players that we love to see in Siege. Those are the exciting ones, the ones that really take the round by the scruff of the neck and turn it in your team's direction. So great play from Havoc's there. Just on the back of Mac's efforts in the first round as well. So it seems like we're having a standout player from Xbox Master Race in each round so far here. And we're going to see them now move into Kitchen Dining Hall. So it looks like they're just completely avoiding the kids' dorms. Maybe they know something I don't, and they know that Forze are particularly good attacking, or maybe they've not had much joy in the scrims setting up there. I don't know what it might be. Maybe they're just playing a bit of a mind game and trying to flip things on its head and take the unusual sides.
It just must be an Xbox thing. to go downstairs to laundry 2 times in a row and you've not got a minute. And obviously, like, fair enough, they've won it. That's brilliant. But then to go to kitchen and dining, it really does seem off. I'm not saying it's not playable. They've got an idea and a way that we're going to play it. We're seeing a castle brought out. I've got a you know, like a theory, if you will, that if you bring in a castle, you know what you're doing. So I'm gonna wait and hold judgment on what goes on until I see it.
You've never seen me play castle.
But you know what I mean? It just seems like it's the obvious option to go upstairs, and they just seem to be, like you say, they seem to be saving it. If they lose this round now, they've only got 5 rounds on defense. So I'd want to be going upstairs, but maybe they're not comfortable upstairs. Maybe they just fall apart, and that's why they're going in now. It's definitely an off pick. I don't think they're going to be expecting it all too much. I don't think Forze are going to be expecting it. Sorry, but they've definitely got all they need to deal with it. Maybe a Glaz would have been really nice.
Yeah, a Glaz or a Blackbeard potentially being able to play outside on that dining door if you got Blackbeard there just to cut off any rotations, or possibly the window, the single window from small office. He could have held an angle all the way down that corridor just to cut off any rotations back into sight. So yeah, definitely use for a Blackbeard or a Glaz there, but that's not what we are destined to see. We've got Sophia, Buck, Hibana, Dockerbit and Thermite lining up, and they are going to make very quick progress here. Forze coming straight into meeting hall and taking control, and I don't think Xbox Master Race have got anybody in a position to get into attic. They do have players upstairs, but I don't think they've got anybody available for that flank, and the wall will be opened by Jackie directly into that kitchen pantry, so they are gonna have it all to do here, Xbox Master Race, as I'm sure the pressure will start coming forward from meeting hall.
Pressure will certainly come through indeed, and it does seem like Forze are going to try and take over the top floor and maybe rain down. They've got all the tools they need to do that. They've got the book, but they're going to have to take it first. We've got HVK and Madman playing pretty tight upstairs, and this is the kind of back-to-back playing that you definitely want to be seeing. There's a really good potential for these guys to get a trade off each other here, and that's just what you're going to want as the defenders. I don't know why Forze haven't pushed this a little bit differently. I kind of like going through a small office, opening up that wall and trying to get a cheeky plant down quite tight in behind the half wall, if you will. And especially with the lack of a mirror. Mirror is quite a popular operator to play on the kitchen dining site. WTG, they're going to pick up the first kill onto HVK, but Madman unable to trade it out as predicted, so Scyther is going to pick up the kill onto Madman. He does manage to get WTG down, but it's all falling apart. Shock is going to get the kill onto Astro. Proyo is going to pick one back, trading it straight away, but 4 versus 2, and all of a sudden it's not looking so good for Xbox Master Race. We've got Proyo left on the Maestro, and we've got Mac on the smoke. Mac seems to be having a fantastic game already on Oregon, and if there's one guy that can do it, it's got to be him.
Yep, so Forze will now apply the pressure. WTG just working those angles with Buck upstairs. He's going to take out as much of that floor as he can just to help them hold sight as and when the diffuser goes down. You're quite right in what you were saying about potentially an approach. Great shots from Proyo there onto Scyther to bring it to 3 versus 2. Proyo and Scyther just getting themselves locked deep into sight. Proyo getting a second onto Starboy to even up the man count. Matt gets the kill onto WTG. Surely they can't do this, can they? 2 versus 4, and it's now down to a 2 versus 1 in favour of Xbox Master Race, but it looks like Mac is down, bringing us to, oh no, he's got 1 HP. Proyo moving in to stop the plant, and they get it. 2 versus 4, let's go Xbox Master Race.
That was brilliant. I'm really gutted that Proyo didn't jump on his Maestro then. I think that's just instinct playing out. Maestro is obviously still a pretty new operator. You could see it there on the back wall. I'd like for him to have denied that with the Maestro. I think that would have been cool, but maybe he didn't have enough time. Obviously, getting the kill is always a safer bet. But what a round from Xbox Master Race. I really, really wasn't expecting that. And sometimes that's what you need. Something really unpredictable. I talked about it in the pregame if you still tuned in from there earlier, but I talked about if Mirror gets banned on Oregon, you need to be, able to deal with that consequence. And the consequence of that is there's only one really viable site that doesn't need a mirror to work every time, and that's Kids Dorm. Laundry, you could do with a mirror, but you can work without it, as we've seen. And building in that third bomb site into the rotation, building in that kitchen defense, just means that you're that much more flexible and that much more adaptable on your defending rounds in Oregon. And as we've seen there, they managed to pick up a round on it. I love it. Brilliant. Xbox Master Race are playing this fantastically. If they pick up this, I think they're going to pick up the whole series sort of 6-2, 6-3.
Yeah, I think we're seeing there the evolution of siege teams that is going to be required with these op bands, like you say. You know, putting the rich time in to get those extra viable sites so that you've got the flexibility regardless of who gets banned. So Mirror gets banned, right, fine, we'll go and play in Kitchen, we'll go and win it down there. And just having that, you know, those pocket straps ready to pull out on sites you might not play. If Mirror was available, you might see them bounce from dorms to laundry, But like you say, the teams that are going to excel in this new format are going to be the teams that can increase that flexibility. And that's only something that we're going to see more, you know, with the round locks going up to 2 for successful sites. It's going to force teams onto more sites as well. And yeah, fantastic plays from Xbox Master Race so far, bringing them into this next round 2-1 now. And they are going to be trying to hold the top of Big Tower. And we've just got Sledge on the rappel there looking to challenge.
Forze have now got a bit of an uphill battle. I feel like they've lost a lot of momentum. And Xbox Master Race is definitely in a good position to take this map, in my opinion. Shock there is going to have to use some of his Hibana pellets on some windows that are castled, which isn't really what you want to be doing, especially when you've got a Sledge on your side. Although we have got another hard breacher in Jackie. WTG is going to pick up the first kill onto Proyo. Proyo paying the predictable dock spot up at the top of rear stage, up in Watchtower, sorry. Madman there just opening the rotation, or opening the hatch as an option for rotation later on in the round. And I wonder if Shock's going to try and sort of reverse open this that generator room door, because he could probably Hibana it from that window, and I'm not sure if they'd survive. They maybe get shot off, but that'd be a little bit interesting if Thermite's struggling to get around there to get it open.
Yeah, I think Jackie is down the front of the building. Yeah, he's coming into Master there, so I think Jackie's definitely going to look to pressure. This is a very good attack from Forze so far. Like you say, they've cleared Doc out of that big tower. They've then moved themselves over towards the kids' dorm side, but that is going to be a cheeky run out from guess who? It's Mac again, getting the headshot onto Shock and getting things moving for Xbox Master Race. So that brings us to 4 versus 4. Hibana off the board, but the Thermite meanwhile will be placed, and Jackie will get the small dorms wall open, so that will be the plant spot opened up and ready to go. But will they be able to get in there successfully, or is Mac gonna come in and have something to say about it again? He's looking to move up. What a kill up through the... Is there anything that Mac cannot kill tonight?
That's an unbelievable angle hit with the... That was a fantastic shot. Starboy there going to pick up a kill onto HVK. I think HVK was downed a little bit from earlier. It's going to lead us into an all-even 3 versus 3, and in terms of hit points, pretty similar. Scyther finally going to take down Mac. Dockerby calls are going to be coming in. Madman is going to be picking up a smoke kill as Astro picks up another one onto Starboy. And all of a sudden, Scyther has got it all to do. He's got Dockerby. So he's got the SMG-12, which is perfectly capable of pulling this off. He has got the diffuser in hand as well, but I don't think that Madman and Astro are going to let him get it down. He does. It's his only option at this point. He's got to start trying to plant, but he's hit the Legion. The Legion there is going to be the nail in the coffin. Madman is going to kill. SoundQ there helping him out, and obviously with the Legion in your foot, you're not able to plant the bomb, so that just goes to show how powerful Legions are, and sometimes just placing one. I mean, talk me through this. Why did Legion place the Legion mine there? Was it for the window of jump in? Did he know someone was going to rotate through because they made the rotation as well? That's a Legion that you're thinking, okay, if they manage to overrun us and they get in, that could just stop them from planting. And that's what I like to see. So that's going to be another round on the board for Xbox Master Race. They do seem to be running away with this one just a little bit. It is still very back and forth, as you can see there from the scoreboard. We've got a good spread of kills on the Forze team. Pretty much the same story on Xbox Master Race, just a couple more jumping in there. But we have had a couple of, we have had a nice double kill from HVK there. 6 picking out of Frost into Castle. Frost there, maybe just a bit of a bait pick. It's not an operator that we see all too often.
How about that smoke kill? I think we've maybe just overlooked that a little bit. We had Madman on the smoke, and the kill that he actually got, I'm almost certain, was on the Thermite as he was planting in the doorway, and it denied the plant. Thermite tried to make it stick. Sometimes you do that. You know you're going to sacrifice your life, but if you feel like you've started planting the diffuser just as the smoke hits you, you do actually have time to get it down before you get killed by the smoke. But he didn't. It made him drop the diffuser, so Dokkaebi had to come and pick it up, and that just allowed Xbox Master Race to get themselves set up in that crossfire, top of White's theirs, and in Kids' Dorms, and that was basically all she wrote. And now they come back to a kitchen site, which, whilst they won, they had to fight from behind to do so, but they come with a lot more confidence this time, being 3-1 up.
Absolutely. And this is moving, I'm not sure if you just said this or not, but this is the last defensive round for XMR, so they're going to want to make this stick. And, you know, they did pretty well down there as well. I'm kind of surprised they didn't go down to Laundry, but also I'm kind of not, if that makes a little bit of sense, because obviously they've won one, lost one down in Laundry, and upstairs, you know, in this kitchen defense, they did win it, but I'm not sure if they managed to get the element of surprise there a little bit.
I think, I think Laundry has been a roll of the dice for them. I think, to be honest, they're lucky to be 50-50 on Laundry. Mac had the first attempt, as we said, with the near triple kill, but then it took a double C4 toss on the second attempt for them really to win it. So I think they're probably recognising that they've been a little bit lucky to pick up a win down there. Whereas Kitchen, whilst it was a 2 versus 4, there was still a lot of sight knowledge and skill involved in that to hold the angles, and they did very well. But it looks like Forze coming with a similar approach here as Buck moves in. It will be WTG on the Buck, looking to get in above Kitchen and start opening up that floor. But as they did last time, we've got a couple of operators, I think. Yep, we've got Madman as the Legion, we've got Havocs as the Castle in there, just looking to hold them off for as long as possible on the roam. But the frag from WTG will get Madman. Scyther will get Havocs, and that opens up the top floor much quicker than they managed to do last time. So I think it was down to just under a minute before that was the case last time. This time 5 versus 3 with over half of the round to go. What can Forze do from here?
Jackie's done a fantastic job of opening things up early doors as well. He's managed to open up from meeting room into the back of Kitchen. You know, he did that within the first sort of 40 seconds. So they've definitely taken a lot of map control, and it's making Kitchen a really uncomfortable place to sit. Proyo there isn't got, you know, he hasn't got much room to play with down there. Neither does Mac. So it's going to be interesting to see how Forze execute on this now. It looks like the diffuser is in the hands of Jackie. I'm not too sure where Jackie is, but we've got Mac, ever the solid smoke player, just holding a really tight angle from the bomb out onto Starboy. Not sure if he knows that he's there. Well, he definitely does now. He's seen him, he's glimpsed him, but Shook manages to pick up the kill from behind, although we do suffer a TK, so that's going to help XMR just a little bit. That's going to move him into a 4 versus 2. As I say that, 2 quick kills again. Astro and Proyo picking up 2 quick back-to-back kills. And it does look as though we're going to have a down on Astro. So that was WTG managing to get the down. So this is effectively a 1 versus 2. But WTG and Scyther have both got very, very little health. Although it does look as though WTG is going to get the kill from above with the book holes that he opened. Astro there just got caught waiting, and all he could do at that point was wait. The diffuser wasn't in hand, so he was doing the right thing, but unfortunately Buck had opened up the floor above him, and that's Forze going to be picking up their second round of this map on Oregon. So that's going to do it for the first defensive phase for XMR. It's also going to do it for the first attacking phase of Forze, and we're now going to switch sides. And what is going on? I've not casted for about a month, so I may be well out of the loop, but Kitchen Dining is being chosen straight away by Forze.
I don't know if that the lack of a Blackbeard ban is coming into that. I know Blackbeard does get banned a lot on Oregon, and I do question it quite often, but I just think it's because of his strength on that one site, which is Kids' Dorms. It does make it very, very difficult. You know, so maybe that is playing into it a little bit. Something I'd like to see here, although they haven't brought the thermite as Jackie was doing for Forze, I was going to comment that Jackie got in very quickly and opened up the wall into Kitchen through the pantry there. What I'd like to see, something I try to do as a player thermite myself, is use that second charge somewhere that's going to make it even more difficult for the attackers. And I'd like to have seen Jackie get that charge off early, get straight out of rear stage, around to small tower, and get the small tower wall open as well. Imagine the crossfire then. You've got a hole from meeting hole, you've got a hole from small tower. As a defender, where do you hide on site anymore? It's just become nearly impossible. So I'd maybe like to just see a little bit more mobility from Jackie, just to get that second thermite charge used in a useful location. But that being said, Forze still come out with the win. Excellent work from Buck upstairs, WTG to get the floor open, and just left them Maestro Proyo at the end there with nowhere left to hide.
I think that's one of the reasons why kitchen dining is so tricky, is because it really is, you know, you can open it up from pretty much every side. You can open up the floor, you can open up both the walls, and you can open up the door. You can make it really uncomfortable and get a lot of angles in. I think that's what makes it difficult. What I'm liking now on the XMR side of things is that they've got the Ying. Now, I'm not going to give them, you know, I'm not going to say that the mind readers and they knew that kitchen. I imagine that they thought that Forze were going to go downstairs into laundry, and Ying is obviously still very viable in that circumstance. Very quickly there, Starboy is going to be getting the kill onto Astro, and Astro there just trying to entry frag a little bit. He did get droned in by Mac and a couple of others, but Starboy was there to take the advantage for Forze. He's going to be on very, very little health, but he's not going to care about that. He's just going to go and try and put some more shots and try and get some more damage down. Ying's already being used about a minute in. Madman has now got himself in. He's used 2 Yings, which is a hell of a lot of utility, and he's taken about half health there. So Starboy is wasting absolutely no time in getting some shots down, and I think Madman's put himself in a bit of a tricky situation there. That wall's very open. He's used 2 Yings, and he's not really achieved anything. It's not control that they desperately need over the map. Isn't the showers area? They can quickly move out from any line of sight that you can see from the showers windows, and not really need to worry about showers at all. I'm not sure why he's sort of got himself locked up in there.
Shock just keeping Mac away from that wall. Then he's not going to be able to play these Hibana charges on there. WTG getting a second kill onto Proyo, so that is the second kill for Forze, and that leaves us 5 versus 2. Starboy on very little health, but still definitely a job to be done. Will Shock manage to get this down in time? No, he knows he's got to back away from that fight, but that being said, he just turns around and catches the Hibana coming through the wall. Scyther will pick up the final kill onto Madman, and what a round for Forze. Well defended there.
Really, really good job for Forze there, and I think that it didn't seem like XMR had much of a plan in terms of how they were going to execute on that. And I think Forze are in the powerful position now because they can choose to either go upstairs or they can choose to go down to laundry and supply room. So choosing to go down to laundry and supply room, it seems as though we're going to see similar operators from XMR. We've got the Ying, we've got the Dockerby that we both saw last time. Yeah, really interesting that round. I think I'm surprised that XMR couldn't attack it. It didn't attack it better than they did, going, you know, saying that they chose it twice to defend. Surely you'd know the sort of the holes in it and the flaws to be able to attack it a little bit better if you've defended it 2 times. Bit of a weird one, really, but it does go to show that opening that wall, I'm not sure what the wall's called. It's the wall into small office, but opening that wall,
yeah, small office, the dining room.
Yeah, it really aided that push. It distracted Bandit. I mean, Hibana could have got the kill from there quite easily. I think that adding that element really makes the site a lot more viable for an attacker.
Yeah, it certainly does. I think that's where Thermite would have come in useful. You know, you've got your Hibana just opening up one window, and it just gave Bandit the confidence to turn around and get the kill as she came through the other wall. I think if you get the whole thing opened up with Thermite, then you're talking a little bit of a different story there, and you can even potentially sit outside of small office then and just work through the single window and get angles into sight as well. So, like you said, definitely I think a key to attacking that site is getting it opened up, but Forze doing very well to prevent that happening and to prevent Xbox Master Race from taking advantage of that. So we will see the laundry defense this time. As we know, definitely a gamble, and if you're going to be successful down here, so far we've seen you're going to need something special. So let's see if Forze can generate that.
You're either need a 3K or a double C4. So you know, shoot. We've got a C4 on Shock. So maybe we will see something similar. It does look as though Madman is going to make his way quickly upstairs, and Shock's playing the more typical Bandit role upstairs in attic. That's somewhere that you would anticipate seeing a Bandit play. Maybe he's going to save that C4 for a rotation out of there. I did notice that one of the walls was still soft, so he's possibly just going to try and see which side that XMR are going to push from, whether they're going to push from, you know, sort of a meeting room side and rear stage and clear that way. Which just seems to be the more popular bet, especially after clearing upstairs. But it doesn't look as though we've got anyone really playing upstairs at all, maybe other than Shock playing up in the attic.
Starboy going to be trying to hold Meeting Hall there. He's got Shock up above him. We've got Jackie at rear stage. So a lot of operators and resource being spent on this half of the map. Meeting Hall backwards. It's always popular. Try and defend those hatches and stop them coming down that way so that you can just focus on the stairs. Pro, you're going to be using that IQ gadget again. The Maestro will try to stop it, but it just won't be enough. And the frag grenade will take the Maestro off the wall. So that could be a big one when we're thinking about plants. And I'm starting to wonder just how many lesions have been put out on these stairs, but it's certainly a good idea. It's causing a real disruption for Proyo now, and nearly 25 damage done, which could be all the difference in a gunfight later in this round. But it would appear that XMR applying quite a bit of pressure now from that main lobby side. It's very, very difficult for them to defend against this without the mirror. Out comes the smokes though. Proyo will try to move through. Ying moving in as Madman, just trying to get himself into the slot room. He's going to challenge WTG, I would guess, inside that closet as soon as he gets an opportunity. I thought they might take the chance for a plant there, but I think WTG on the smoke just managed to stop it, but he doesn't know Ying's there. Proyo and Madman getting one each to bring it down, but Jackie and Shock will bring it back in the favour. Astro gets a kill onto Starboy, Jackie onto Madman, Shock onto Astro, and this round is quick as Mac gets a kill onto Shock, and it comes down to a 1 versus 1 with the diffuser down. Mac watching it from upstairs, so Echo Jackie is going to have to move upstairs. He's not going to be able to get this diffuse, I wouldn't have said, whilst Mac is still alive. Is he going to find him in Meeting Hall? He's the 3 armor operator, so it won't take much for Mac to hear him. And there's the kill from behind as he goes in search of him in garage. And that will be a round on the attack to Xbox Master Race. Now, that was a real flurry of action. It was difficult to keep control of that one, let alone track of it.
Xbox Master Race did a fantastic job there. I really like how Madman got himself down into that little cubby hole and waited for, I think it was either Mute or Smoke to run through, picked up the kill, and just got unfortunate with his pre-fires. He knew where the players should have been or could have been, and he did actually lose his second engagement there, but he did pick up a kill in the process. And I think that the way that they ended up taking site there was really good. When you commented that IQ seemed to be hitting every Legion mine under the sun, I understand that she's got the scanner and she could have got out and, you know, started shooting them, and that's possibly what you should have done. But what she inadvertently did by stepping in them all was actually make it really easy for everyone to flood the site and get the plant down, because obviously if you've got that leisure mine and you're at that stage where you're trying to get the plant down and you've only got a few seconds to get it down, you're not going to be able to. You're going to have to take the legion out first, then you're going to have to get the plant down. So, you know, inadvertently it was very fortunate that IQ actually got in all those goos.
Yeah, as you say, maybe the better course of action would have been saving the 25 HP and using that gadget. But that being said, it's all academic now as Xbox Master Race managed to get the win regardless, and I'm sure they're going to be looking to follow that up with another win on this upstairs site now. So we will see Maestro Jackie just starting to open up the rotation there into Attic using that shotgun pistol, a real interesting weapon, one that is being used more and more for that remodeling of the maps that you need.
Yeah, it's definitely got its place. It's a very slow rotation tool, but if the rest of your team's busy, you know, making the rotates and preparing the map in other ways, then, you know, sometimes that's all you need. If Maestro's job there is to get his 2 Maestros out and reinforce the other end or Attic, then, you know, that's just what he's got to do with it. It saves an impact grenade and it saves Smoke, because often Smoke can find himself with no shotgun shells left after the remodeling or prep phase of the game. So I'm not too sure about how Scythe is playing here with the Vigil. He seems to be being real aggressive and he's going to run out. He's not going to pick up the kill. Proyo is going to absolutely punish him for that. IQ there, the best equipped really to deal with the Vigil in terms of finding him. It seemed like IQ was already prepping the frag grenade. I think Vigil must have had his cloaking device on, and yeah, you could sort of spot that a mile off. I think that Scyther there was trying to make something happen. We've not really seen him play Vigil over that side of the map just as of yet, and unfortunately it's not really paid off and suffered an early death there.
I think he just hoped to catch IQ in the middle of that nade throwing animation. It was one of those split-second decisions, you know, just hit the button and jump out of the window. But He was always asking for trouble. I mean, how often do you see people rappelling on Big Tower on their own? It always tends to be a pair.
Back in, would he?
Yeah, it always tends to be a pair that are on there. He was potentially giving his life up to kill IQ, which, had it been somebody other than Vigil, you might have said that's a worthwhile trade because it stops IQ hunting the Vigil down. But when it's Vigil that's going to give his life to get rid of the IQ, it sort of seems like a bit of a pointless exercise. But there we go. That's the situation we're in. 5 versus 4 in favour of Xbox Master Race now. I'm sure they're going to be keen to push on and take this round, get themselves to match point against Forze. Maestro playing the white stairs there, will take the drone down. Astro just looking to get an angle in from that window as Ash, but I think the player just down behind the bed, I think it was WTG on the smoke, is just going to be at a slightly just too hidden for Ash to be able to get the view onto him, but Astro just remaining patient there. Things just slowing down a little bit on this attack. Astro and Proyo, though, just as I say that, speed things right back up with a couple of kills, bringing us to 2 versus 5, and that will be 1 versus 5 as Astro gets another kill onto WTG. This Ash is in good hands as the kills come raining in, and now it's 5 versus 1. Starboy has it all to do on the Jaeger, and he's playing the top of white stairs at the minute. He sees one. Shots will come in. Matt gets the kill, and as soon as the call light goes out where he is, that was nice and easy for Xbox Master Race. Well played. 5-3.
XMR there making the upstairs objective in kids' dorms look very easy. Clinically taking that flawless round. They didn't lose a man. I think Proyo got a little bit low health toward the end, but not a death, so that's what counts. So yeah, good flawless round, moves them into match point, and they're in great shape. And now I'd love to just be able to rewind, back to round number 2, where I said if XMR win this round, I think that they'll take it 6-3.
6-2 or 6-3, I think.
It was 6-2 or 6-3, but yeah, hedging again.
I'll give you that. I definitely think they're going to win 6-1, 2, 3, or 4. I think that'll definitely be the case. So we're moving into round number 9. We've got XMR on the attack. They are definitely in the ascendancy here. Proyo and Max, 17 kills between the two of them. They are flying on this map, and Forze really do have it all to do here. The Vigil will be there. WTG just taking the 6th pick to bring the Legion. They had a bit of success with him last time, getting plenty stuck into IQ, but I don't think that that's a mistake Proyo will make again. A couple of Legion goo mines in the leg is going to make you remember that you've got a scanner that can see them on your arm, I am sure.
Absolutely. It's an interesting location to choose as well to go down. Essentially, I mean, this is the most important round of the whole thing for Forze. If they lose this, it's all over. But interesting to go downstairs into laundry. It's not been all too successful for the defenders tonight. I think we've seen it 3 times, and we've seen it lost twice by the defense. So the numbers aren't really on Forze's side here, but I really want Scyther to do a really aggressive peek here. I think that's what he's going to do. He's double hit the window, looking to it's a nasty angle, that, but it's also easily countered. But it does seem as though no one from XMR has spawned there. XMR opting for, it's not even the safest spawn, it's just the other one over down in construction. Construction, of course, very easy to be run out on as well, but no fears of that this round as Astro looks to be making his way into rear stage tower.
The first 2 kills of this round definitely going to be very important if they go in the direction of XMR, which they will not, as Jackie moves in and gets the kill onto Madman, taking Ying off the board and some potentially vital resource with those Candelas no longer being available. And that is a great first kill for Forze, with the Echo making himself really worthwhile before he gets onto those drones slightly later in the round. And we've got Vigil in the meeting hall. Will be drawn out, but I don't think he was actually seen. Just his signature was seen, I think, the little white lines, although I could be wrong. Regardless of that, we've got IQ up in attic, so Proyo is going to be looking to deal with that Vigil, I'm sure, putting the pings out now and just following, putting some shots in with the pistol through the attic roof, but will not be successful. I think maybe just one of those hit the Vigil. They will lose a Yokai drone as well, so a lot of work being done from attic so far, and a patient push from XMR.
Patience, definitely the word. They certainly don't want to mess this up. They've already lost Madman, so that's a lot of utility in the Ying that they're going to and they're going to spend the time now just sort of, evaluating, getting a little bit of drone work done. and figuring out where they're going to make this push from. They've still got all the tools that they need to be able to complete and execute on this, and it's just going to be about how they choose to use them. So we're seeing a hot drop down into meeting. We've got Scyther holding an angle onto main lobby hatch. Oh, that's some very good drone work there. Astro is going to pick up a kill onto WTG. That's got to be some fantastic drone work from one of his teammates that's allowing him to and enabling him to be able to get that kill. And that's going to bring the man count back into equal favor as Proyo there gets the kill onto Scyther. Brilliant pre-fire going around the corner, taking Vigil off the board. That could be a bit of good drone work, or alternatively, obviously, could be the IQ scanner. So quite quickly, they've turned it into their favor. But if they're going to complete, XMR are going to need to do something else. There's 30 seconds left on the clock. Shock is going to pick up a kill onto Mac. That's going to bring us all equal into a 3 versus 3. Echo is still on the board, so that's going to make a plant a little bit difficult. Shock is super lit. He's going to throw a C4 there just to be able to detonate if anyone wants to push through that doorway, which is probably going to detonate now, and does manage to get the kill. Starboy going to be taking it out. Proyo, so it's now all down to Astro. He picks up the first one, but he's not got a lot of health at all, and Jackie is going to close that round out, leading us into a defensive round win for Forze on Laundry. So almost against all odds, Forze are going to come out on top on that one.
And they're fighting back once again, just as they did on Consulate, getting it back to 5-4 in terms of rounds now, coming into round 10. And Xbox Master Race will get a second stab at this, but if they don't do it here, they're going to be staring down the barrel of another overtime, and then it starts to become a little bit of a gamble. I'm sure they'll feel confident having come through overtime once on Consulate, but who wants to go there again? And I'm certain they're not going to be wanting to go to the crapshoot that is Clubhouse at the minute, being that it's such a new map, and still lots of teams to learn on there. So I'm sure that Xbox Master Race are going to want to finish this off here. But we move back to that kitchen dining hall, and we saw Forze have a very strong showing, but Mac bringing the thermite this time with a Thatcher as well. So they're obviously planning for the potential of those bandits, and I'm thinking we're going to see that small office wall get opened up as I suggested by the thermite rather than a Hibana this time, so that they can just get a more accessible angle in through there.
Yeah, I really like this. We've brought the Thatcher. That's going to enable them to get the bandits off the wall a little bit easier. You saw there, we Sledge 6-picked from... I forget, but Sledge 6-picked, so I think it was IQ. It was definitely IQ. Proyo was playing IQ. 6-picked over into Sledge, so I think he may have seen the castles and thought, okay, they're probably going to go downstairs again. They took castle last time they went downstairs into dining room and kitchen, so he's going to go 6-pick, go upstairs, try and open up all the floor, and I think this is where we're going to see the destruction really come in for kitchen and dining room, because there is a lot of it that's destructible. But with the Thatcher this time, it's just going to make things a hell of a lot easier to get that wall open, like you say, from office, get a bit of the floor open, and, you know, as XMR, you're going to really want to be clutching this round out, because you don't want to be going into overtime. They've had some really good rounds, and they've had some really successful rounds, and I do believe that they deserve to win. But Forze have come back just as strong, and castling that door off is really a bit of a rookie mistake, because it just allows so much control so early on. And all of a sudden, bang, we're literally 20 seconds in, and the door, and that big wall's open, and now Shock's got to deal with that. All it takes is someone to go around to the other door, and all of a sudden you're getting the kill onto Shock. He's brought barbed wire this time. You saw him aim up to try and throw his C4, and then he realized he didn't have any. So he's in a really bad position now, and XMR are in a fantastic position to get a bit more map control and get a plant down.
XMR applying all 4 operators to that side of the map though, Scyther getting a kill onto Havocs, and I would like to see them just spread out a little bit, maybe rotate Mac on Thermite round to that meeting hall and open up the pantry wall as well to get a crossfire. So we've got Thatcher off the board, but in turn we have Shock off the board as Bandit. Shots will rain in onto Starboy in the shower area, but Astro will take damage for the pleasure, and he's now down to about 15 health at a push. Madman as the Dockerby will get upstairs. Astro and Madman getting kills almost simultaneously onto Starboy. WTG. Jackie goes down to Proyo. Scyther gets one back of his own onto Madman. So that brings us to a 1 versus 3. Scyther has it all to do. He gets the first of 3 onto Astro. He's on the LMG, so he doesn't need to reload. The diffuser goes down, but he still has about 30 seconds to do something about this. He knows where Proyo is. Is he going to pre-fire this as he comes around the corner? No, he turns his back at just the wrong time. Proyo does exactly what's needed. Gets the kill onto Scyther, and that will be the round, the map, and the match 4, Xbox Master Race. What a great performance.
That's been a really, really entertaining game to watch. Both maps have been fantastic. There's been so much back and forth, and I think we couldn't have predicted it better in the pre-game. Just how back and forth it was. There were times when it was going really one way. Force came out the gate really hot. XMR then came, and woke up a little bit, and then Force came back. You can see